going on, everybody? Oh, come on in here. How's everybody doing? Good evening to everyone. Let's get this going. I had to reschedule the live with Milk Bar to tomorrow night. My son was homesick from school, so things happen. But y'all, tomorrow night is on and popping. Milk Bar will be in the house. I'm so excited. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Good evening. Good evening to you all. How are you? How are you all? Hope God, you all are doing great. We had a good day. It's Monday. Sometimes they always suck, but it just hopefully we have a bit of good news to get all of the Luxers jolted up in the LLC. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you all tonight. Let's go. Oh man, let's get some let me pull up this thing first. Candace, oh Candace. Yo, you say a lot of the same thing. Yeah, hit the like button as you come in. Hit the like button as you come in. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the live streams. I really do appreciate it. I mean, the videos are getting, a lot of traction. And I truly do appreciate that. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I know the candy asses can't stand my guts. Yeah, the feeling is mutual. But at least hit the like button if you're gonna sit here and try to get on my nerve. Shout out to all of you all. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to all my mods, to all of the members, to all of the supporters, to the Luxsters, to the viewers, to the candy asses, the bots that are working overtime because it's Christmas coming up. Yeah, Jesus loves the trolls as well. Y'all, what's going on? We got some things to talk about. So you guys see Milk Bar is going to be joining us tomorrow night. Milk Bar will be joining us tomorrow night. I've already even updated the chat over in the scheduled live stream. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday. December 9th. December 9th. Milk Bar will be in the house with us. I am so excited. Good grief. I've been trying to get this interview with him for at least 3 weeks. So much has gone down. But I am so excited. So much we're going to be talking about tomorrow. From the lawsuit, whatever he could discuss about it, to of course Candace, because Candace, come to the front of the church, you heifer. This is how I know she listening. Y'all see the thumbnail. If you see the thumbnail, you know what's up. I can't make this up. So I'm gonna pull this up first. No, I'm gonna go to the. Let me see. I'm gonna start this off. Am I gonna start with the unexpected first? Because we got the bad, the great, and the unexpected. Okay. So the great news is we'll start with that. The great news is Mukbar will be joining us tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Lady Luck Club. Yay! I'm so happy. Huge fan of Milk Bar TV. All I got to do is get Ami Kozak on and we'll just have that trifecta completed. Oh, Ami, we love you, Ami. We got a video from Ami, the most recent one he did. Yep, he did a video. We're going to check that out at the end. So that's the great, the unexpected. Okay. I guess we got to work our way backwards. Y'all, I got an email. Oh my Lord. Let me scroll to the top. So I had an email, unfortunately, that went to my spam, and I don't know why. But it came from this email. I don't even want to say my source unless I'm, I could reach out to them and say, hey, can I give you all a shout out? But if you all see here, I'm gonna drop this link. This is france.news-prof.com. It's an article here, okay, where they talk about the Macron lawsuit And I'm gonna drop the link here. Oh wait, let me give a shout out to all of you. I'm gonna drop the link here while we go through some shout outs. But this is something else, you all. This is my unexpected. You're not gonna believe it. If you saw the thumbnail, you see exactly what this is about. The Lady Luck Club landed in this article. And when they're going over some of the exhibits that's in the amended complaint. Can you believe it? You can't make that. Candace, bring your ass to the front. I told y'all she was mad at this, Candace. If there's a chance that my video shows up as an exhibit in this lawsuit, girl, I'm going to Delaware myself in person to that court hearing. You hear me? You can't make this up. God is so good. Shout out to Caleb. What's going on, Mr. Mila? How you doing? Oh, everybody speak to everybody. Like number 2. That's how you do it, mister. Tell me what number like you are. Hit the like button. Lady Luck Club landed in an article going over the exhibits in the amended complaint. You can't make this up. Lord, we thank you. Candace, I told you I will be listening in on every second of those court hearings, girl. Let my video actually be used as an exhibit. I'm flying to Delaware. I hope the Macrones are listening. If you all need someone to testify, all you got to do is email me and let me know. You don't even have to ask. The answer is yes. Oh, this is epic. Oh, this is so epic. Y'all, they have like, and I'm going to go through this. Because this is the unexpected. I did not. Oh my God. I was like, are you kidding? I've had a video used previously in an article going over my reporting and research on Novatech. It landed on an article website called Behind MLM. And they featured one of my videos there. But this one literally has the link that takes you to my video that goes over the lawsuit. It goes over the exhibits at the bottom. In the complaint against Candace Owens, we can read, and it gives you kind of like an overview of what's in the amended complaint. And I was so flabbergasted. I said, oh, you scroll down. I saw this thumbnail, and I said, oh, dear Lord, that's my thumbnail. Candace, you are so screwed. You let me have to go up there and testify. I'm coming. Y'all thought I was playing. When you're researching, let me tell you something. When you're doing things because you want it to be done in truth and honesty and in the pursuit of the freedom of press and good journalism, Lord, we thank you. It look how it pays off. Look how God can bless this situation. That's why I don't listen. The candy asses have no power here. So I let them pout and get it out. Because that's all they're going to do. You can't make this up. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. I would love for the Macrones to use any of my videos in their lawsuit. Go ahead. Go for it. Information that can be researched by all. And they talking about I'm being paid by Israel. This ain't got nothing to do with Israel. Oh my good Lord. Y'all, this is so awesome. It's so awesome. All that reading and researching and going over these lawsuits and court documents and stuff, it just ever so often just pays off in a mighty way. Hallelujah. Candace, you heifer. I told you I was going to be tuning in the court hearings. See, this is what happens when you doxing off people and picking on college kids because they wore a maroon shirt, Candace. When you're sitting here putting your own attorneys out there, putting other employees in the line of fire. That stuff catch up to you, girl. I told you all she was bad at this. Didn't I tell you all? Oh man, this is so epic. Ah, such a good day. Just such a good day. All right, y'all. Let me get some more comments in. What's going on, Sean? How you doing? Hello. Check and say, yeah, you're live. I am live, y'all. It's not, 11 o'clock at night. So we got to get to, I guess, get to a little bit of her video. Oh, God. Yeah, we got to do it, y'all. We're going to end it with Ami so we can all have a laugh. And I'm going to try my best not to stop and pause and interrupt so much because, Candace, you're saying the same thing over and over again now. I told you all she was going to be on auto repeat with her conspiracy theories. She thinks that saying it over and over again somehow makes it a fact when it doesn't. It still makes it a lie. It's just a repeated lie. And you're showing the judge and the court that you're willing to put your lies on auto repeat. That's all you're doing, Candace. I told you, girl. The stuff gonna come up is gonna come up and bite you in the butt. Oh, tell Boys Club I said happy birthday for the third time. Oh, I'm on one tonight. Oh man, I will be here. Yes, I know. Exciting. I know, right? What's going on, Jackie? Listen here. Good job getting Milk Bar. Thank you all so much. I am just so elated. I waited patiently. I sent the a message on Twitter X, and I was like, I know this is, you probably have a lot of people reaching out to you, but I would love for you to interview here in the LLC, please. I'm not like one of those huge YouTubers that don't have 100,000, you know, subs or anything like that. But we bless God for the supporters here in the Luxus. And I really do. I genuinely thank all of you for supporting me and supporting the independent research and the journalism and the content that comes out of the LLC. Thank you all so much. Make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribing and sharing this content because Candace is about to start picking up, girl. It's not about having 5.6 million views or subs. It's about the quality of your content. It's about the quality of the research and the information that you're laying out. There's no reason to lie when you can just tell the truth. I mean, seriously. I'm so excited. All right, y'all. So let me get some more comments in here. Let's go get some more comments in here. Milk Bar tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lady Luck Club landing in an article focusing on the amended complaint. Lord, let it be an exhibit. Let it be an exhibit. I'll be okay with that. So when you guys get time, I've dropped the link to this. Read over it. It goes over the complaint. You see the hyperlinks here. Of course, it cites a lot of her episodes on her show, because Candace can't stop lying. And then it talks about a photo here where this is Brigitte before she got married here. Over here in the black jacket. Because everybody wants to keep saying she was born a man. She don't have that's not something that they don't care what Candace is saying as far as, whether there's a concern of her proving that. Because they know she can't prove it. The problem is, Candace, you reported it as a fact, and then you kept doubling down on it, and it was said as a fact with no evidence. They know you cannot prove that. But the fact that you mislead people to think you can is what's landed you in court. This is why you in court, girl. So this photo here was a photo that the Macron sent over to Candace that she did not even acknowledge. She didn't recognize. It didn't land in her series. Nothing. But she knows this photo existed. When you talk about a reckless disregard of the truth, that includes Candace. Candace, check this out. Lying by omission. Because for some reason, you know what that means when it comes to the Israeli prime minister and a 7-page letter. But somehow, when you're sent an exhibit, this photo, it's a part of the facts and evidence from the Macrons to show you even the more. Crazy that they think they had to do this, but they did. That Brigitte Macron was born a woman. You don't even mention this photo. It didn't show up in her series, in her nothing. It's like she didn't exist. And then all of the other exhibits, Candace didn't accept it. It's not as if they didn't try to send her evidence and documentation to debunk her dumbass. She just ignored it. Candace, that's not going to fly in court. Judge Rennie is not playing with you, girl. You're not going to make a mockery of his courtroom. You're not going to go in there with that circuit clown nonsense behavior, buffoonery nonsense. You're not going to be able to do that in court. The judge will not care whether you accept exhibits or not. It will not be up to you. It will be up to the jury. Tried to tell you, Candace. You played around, you effing around, you still finding out. So here's a photo, another photo that they sent. They probably sent other exhibits to her. But unless other outlets put it out there, Candace is not going to mention half this stuff because she doesn't even want to accept it. Because it's more evidence to debunk her. And then all she's going to say is, oh, the photo is fake and it's proctored and blah, 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 and all this other nonsense. Okay. So what they can do is what's called facial recognition. Okay. Facial recognition allows you to do an analysis based on photos. And they have, like some samples where they kind of go over a before and after photo of people that you know and recognize. And then they run that just to show the accuracy of the program. Facial recognition picks up patterns, of course, facial features, distinguishing factors in the face, hair, ears, all that stuff, right? And it downloads it and it puts it in a system where then it runs across everywhere we go. Now we get photographed, we're caught on some camera, and it just goes across the data and it matches all the photos where you've ever been captured in, every video footage, surveillance camera, wherever you've been captured in, it picks it up and it scans it. And that's what they did with these photos. That's how one of the ways they're going to validate and authenticate the photos that are going to be presented as exhibits in the lawsuit. Because Candace doesn't understand how court works. She doesn't understand those concepts. Candace, all you got to do is Google. Can't make this up. So this is one of the photos that they did a facial recognition for. And then they just scan it across other photos that the clones have submitted, other photos taken, still images, images from security camera footages, surveillance camera footages, from wherever, not just from one single place, because you don't want it to be too selective. You want it to be where, let's say they travel to the US. Of course, they're going to get photographed. Of course, they're going to be caught on a camera. And then you can allow the system with this facial recognition to pick up those same pattern of images and stuff and cross reference those images. And it'll do a match and it'll give you a percentage of the match. So it'll be like 80% match, 90% match. And that's how you can validate and authenticate these photos. That's evidence that the jury will be presented with. So whether Candace likes it or not, it's going to be presented to the jury. Any questions? Let me know if you got any. Throw them in the chat. Facial recognition. And that's how they do analysis in, true crime, when they're trying to find missing persons. It's a common, test to make sure that, images are validated and authenticated. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions? Put it in the chat. What's going on? Truth is, I'm still going through chats. Hey, Mila, how you doing? Stacy, what's going on? LLC tip line. Now y'all know how I am. I try my best, and I dropped the link to the article. I try my best to, like, when I don't get permission right away to share who sent me something, I drop the link either way. so that you all can see at least the article and where it came from. Unlike Candace, she don't even tell you what the information is. Candace, where are the transactions from Club de Sang from the French president, but his so-called female French assassin and this male Israeli operative? What the hell are those payments at, girl? You said it was a paper trail. We're still waiting. You can't make this up. So I dropped the link here so you guys can go on the link and check out the article. And I'll start. I am so excited. So excited. It's just been a good day. It's just a good day. Even the candy asses won't even be able to bother me today. Y'all can try, but it's not gonna work. What's going on, S File? Shout out to my moms. I appreciate you all. Truth, CC, we are getting all the tea together tonight. Y'all, we're gonna be getting tea tonight and tomorrow night. And it's gonna get even better when these hearings start with this Macron case. Candace, I told you a little behind. I was gonna be watching every single hearing. You thought I was playing, girl. I'm not playing. Can't make this up. We'll check the status of the court case as well, because there was a response filed from the Macron's attorney to Candace's motion to dismiss and to strike the FAC, the First Amendment complaint. Candace, when the hell are you gonna schedule this hearing? We're all tired of waiting. You're scared to schedule the hearing on your motion. I don't understand why you taking forever. You and your attorneys just stalling this thing by any means necessary. It's like they're taking forever on this case and they know it. Yeah, the last status was the answering brief out. You can't make this up. I mean, they want to get to the discovery phase, but they don't want to request a hearing to get to the discovery phase. You can't make this up. Oh man. Oh god, what's going on, CC? Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button. I appreciate all of you all for tuning in. So we got the great news out the way with Milk Bar coming on tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been scheduled or rescheduled rather. Shout out to Milk Bar. We got the unexpected here. I guess the next thing is to get to the bed. So we're gonna be watching Candace's show today. We're watching Candace's show today. Oh God. We got to get to the bed at some point. What's going on, Susie? How you doing? Oh, y'all, thank you so much, Caleb. Congrats to all of you all. I mean, you guys, it's for the spirit of seeking truth and facts and journalism that I do this. And it's fun for me. I enjoy it. I really do. This is all so cool, man. I just, man, I know it's files. Shout out to all my moms. I appreciate all of you all. I would say we got all hands on deck over there in the virtual, because they don't know how to act. What's going on, Wyoming guys? Shout out to my moms. Beautiful. How you doing? Let's see here. I want to just make sure I get everybody in. No reply. What's going on? I enjoy smaller channels by viewers, but the quality of the viewers is so much better. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I do try my best, as being on on YouTube. It's not easy. People think it's easy to do. It's not. You're competing with millions and millions of people that are content creators and across various topics and subjects. And then you have over 1 billion users on YouTube. And like I said, nobody makes videos for no one to watch them. So the idea of you just doing this for views, yes, dummy. You do this because you want people to watch it. I do it because I want people to get information. Candace does what she does to get attention. I want people to get information. I have to turn my camera on. Because I don't care if you see me or not. I care if you see the information that I'm relaying. And that you all understand the information that I've had to research and, put together and present to you all. That's what's most important. Are you learning anything out of it? And that's what people can appreciate more. They can appreciate when you're laying out the facts, when you're doing your research and your due diligence. And, when you just tell the truth. I don't, whether I'm shown in the camera or not is irrelevant. Candace makes sure her thumbnails has her photo on it. Why? As somebody who, keeps lying about being number one. sign of someone who wants to be seen and loud and wrong. But dare her to present proof of transactions to a club that does nothing but eat and drink wine and study, food as a science. It's crickets. You get nothing. So I'm just excited. Yeah, it's all coming together. I would love to hit 100,000 supporters one day, but it's gonna get there. But in the meantime, being able to pack a powerful punch, Candace, that's what's most important, girl. The idea that my video is even in this article is a part of the amended complaint. You have no idea how much that means to me. Oh man. All right, y'all. What's going on, Diane? Oh man, you can't make this stuff up. I've been a moderator for a year for a set of channels, and it's been exciting to grow with them. The one channel is up to 250K subs now. Yes, it is. Shout out to Jay Witt. He hit 60,000, and it's just phenomenal. We're almost there. We're almost at 30,000. So hit the like button and subscribe and share the content. There are other fantastic content creators out there, and I always encourage people to support them. But make sure you guys hit the like button and sub in here. And to my second channel, Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea. Now I plan on doing my first live video on the second channel tomorrow. Y'all, it's something else. This lady tore up her son was, murdered. She went to the funeral and she just let everybody have it. So all the stuff like that, just the entertainment, gossipy stuff. Yeah, that's going on the second channel. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that one. It's gonna be good. It will be fun to grow LLC. It will be. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. I try my best, y'all. I try my best. So let me click on this video so y'all can see, and then I'm gonna show you a couple other documents and links that was sent as well. Oh Lord, I don't want to miss comments. If I miss something, make sure you email me, ladyluckclubllc@yahoo.com. So far, we talked about the what's going on, Lisa Marie? Nice, I want to learn. We talked about facial recognition. Shout out to Linda Walker. Yes, Lisa she's lying about all of it. Most here we Candace followers until her lies took over her life. Yeah. Candace don't know how to tell the truth to save her life. Candace cannot be proven wrong because never provides proof. She basically makes stuff up, connects unrelated things like Egyptian planes and make wacko theories. Here's the thing. When it comes down to an allegation, right? It's more of, if you don't have the evidence to support it, then you say, okay, well, this person came into my house and they took a hammer and hit a hole in the wall. Right? Now, the way you prove that is to produce a photo to show that there's a hole in your wall, at least. With Candace Owens, like with her saying these transactions and payments somehow exist, the fact that she doesn't produce evidence is also sufficient in showing that she lied about it. If nothing else, Your Honor, she lied about these so-called payments going to some club or transactions be made for the purposes of her assassination plot from the president. Because with Candace, she tries to keep it general and then say, I didn't say that the president made the payments to Club Descent. But it's not always, when it comes to those types of allegations, exactly the specific allegation itself. It's the inference of it. If the average reasonable person listening to her or reading that post infers that she is referred to because she's saying the Macrons tried to assassinate her. So when she says there are transactions that are flowing through Club Descent, you putting the dots together to say that it's coming from the Macrons because she's the one that's claiming the Macrons tried to assassinate her. And she's saying that as a matter of a fact. So naturally you expect any evidence of payments from the Macrons who are trying to assassinate her flowing through this so-called Club de Sant. The club is real, but are they taking payments from a president for the assassination of some girl in the US? That's what it comes down to. If she can't produce that, then of course Macron's defense to that would be that it's not true. And once the judge and the jury sees there's no evidence to prove it, then the Macrons have proven their case by saying she's lied. There's no evidence on that. The judge asks, okay, do you all have any evidence on that? No, we don't. But okay, well then it is what it is. Why lie about that? Thereby, that's how they can meet their burden with that. So it's the absence of this so-called evidence for these outlandish allegations that can also help the Macrons, because those types of allegations you need evidence for, and she produces none. And I've been asking myself for about 3 weeks ever since she posted it up. Okay, show me these transactions. I even looked up Club de Sant. There are 2 of them. She never ever specified which one, and you kind of take it as okay, she's referring to this Club de Sant that specializes in gastronomy. But what if she's referring to the cycling club? Because there are 2 Club de Sants, one with gastronomy, one with cycling. So naturally, a good attorney will go in and say, we demand evidence to see any payments from any president to any Club de Sant. There are 2 of them. Payments from either one. Pick one. Don't care if you're talking about the gastronomy or the cycling club. Where are those payments, those transactions? Who called you? Who told you this? Man, when they put her on the oath, they're going to hammer the crap out of it. It's going to be on. You put that girl on the oath, and it's just going to be a sight to behold. And of course, she's not going to be able to present that evidence because she won't even say who told her these payments exist. So it's the absence of the evidence that she doesn't have where she won't be able to substantiate her allegation. So all they have to say is she's lying, and that's it. And there's no proof to show that. And that'll be it. That I mean, I don't know what she's thinking. She's not thinking. Hey, it's pretty much that. Candace, you're not thinking, girl. So welcome in all. Let's get to this. Jay Witt usually watches the show each day with us at the Jay Witt podcast. There are some others like Artie Trolls. Yeah, Artie Troll is good. Jay Witt, of course, is my brother in Christ, you all. Shout out to him. And he always keeps me on my toes. Make sure you're telling them to hit the like button and put the number of like they are. So if you're like number 88 or something like that, just put it in the chat. Thank you for being kind and welcome me so I can see it too. Absolutely. I mean, if Candace was up in here, I wouldn't boot her out. I would want her to stay in here and read this. Candace, let me show you how it's done, girl. Let me show you how it's done. Y'all, let's get to this article right quick. And then we're going to get to the bad, to her episode, because I foresee myself having a headache of some sort. So once you guys go through this, of course, it talks about these photos that were sent to her. This particular photo here is a photo of a wedding that was published in the wedding invitation, published in the same time in the Courier Picard. In the card, the bride and groom are wearing the same clothes as in the photo sent to Emmanuel Anazon, and in the background, we see the best man dressed in black and white. So we had a photograph of Brigitte Troggenot. This is before she got married, I would assume. From the front at her wedding in 1974, cross-checked by a photograph of Brigitte Troggenot in profile at Anne-Marie Bouchot's wedding in 1976. So this is Anne-Marie Bouchot's wedding in 1976. That's Brigitte. This is Anne-Marie. And this is the guy Anne-Marie is married. They're saying they sent this photo to Candace. She didn't even acknowledge it. Candace, why you didn't put this in your so-called 8-part series? You had 8 episodes to put this photo in, and you didn't put it in there? I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if she doesn't even recognize or accept any of the photos. Candace, you do know what facial recognition is. That is a real test, girl. So when they say they cross-reference this photo or cross-checked it, that's what they're doing. They're doing this facial recognition. And that's how they can validate and authenticate the photos. So it's really down to a science. It comes down to scientific data. Once again, something you need as evidence to prove someone was born a man. So if you guys want to learn more about facial recognition and how they do their analysis, I might encourage you all to research that. We can go over that in a separate video if you want. But it is going to be a helpful tool in where they're going to verify and validate these photos that they've given to Candace. They more than likely already done it. Some of them they have done it because I've seen the test results. And she doesn't care. Candace just doesn't care. That's what it comes out to. She doesn't care. Candace, at some point, the jury is gonna care more than you, and you're gonna wish you did. Because her throwing a tantrum is irrelevant at this point. They don't care if she cares or not. But the jury is going to look at the results of that facial recognition. And they're going to look at all of the photos. They're going to look at the evidence. They're going to probably have someone to testify. Um, the person that did the cross reference and the forensic analyst, whoever that person is, probably going to testify and speak to the testing methods, the samples, the photos, how this works electronically. They're going to have a solid case. They're going to have a solid case. So I'm excited. Mr. said, LLC, do we know if Candace has filed papers yet with the Supreme Court of George Farmer? That's what this girl said. Talking about, if I had to check with the Supreme Court of George Farmer, because he had instantly told her no, remember, to going out there to Phoenix. So who knows? Candace, does she talk about that in her show tonight? I haven't seen it. That might be in the bad. We might hear that. Who knows? Candace, if you got to go through the Supreme Court of George Farmer, aka Boys Club, at least tell him to pick a birthday. There's 3 of them out there. And since she doesn't like Wikipedia, I found the 3 birthdays on factually.co. I didn't even go on Wikipedia. It was on another website. You can't make this up. This man has 3 birthdays. What are you, Boys Club? Is he human? You can't make this out. You have 3 birthdays out there. Candace only has 1. Candace, you slipping. George has 3 birthdays. You only got 1. You might need to get another one in place. Oh, good Lord. Who is he? Mrs. Thornton. What's going on? Hello, new subscriber. Thank you. Welcome to the LLC. We have fun here. Oh, we got a new Luxter up in the house. Now let's see. You mean the multiple times born George Farmer? Exactly. Episode 211 is his July birthday. So his birthday is July. It's a June day, a July date. It was like July 9th or something like that. A June date, and then December 15th. So did she pick one? Candace, just tell him to pick one. Okay? Pick one birthday and stick to that. That's it. You can't make this up. July 7th. There we go. Thank you, Susie. Hey, Saint. How you doing? Shout out to my Mars. I appreciate you for tuning in. What's going on? I hope all is well with you, honey. Let's see here. Susie said July 7th, 1990. Okay. So that's the one they selected. Got it. I told y'all Candace is an alien. Oh, Jesus. That's it, Willow. UK Gov site says July 1990. Okay, cool. And they got all these birthdays and stuff. It's so weird. And I didn't even get that off of Wikipedia, by the way. I got it from a whole totally different website. I even posted it up and then posted it to Twitter X. Candace, I know you hate my guts, but you got to learn how to read, girl. How do you not know that George had 3 birthdays out there? And people are coming in internationally on December 15th. Hopefully that Supreme Court of George Farmer is kind to you. Why don't you just go to the event in person? Once again, Turning Point USA does not owe Candace a virtual anything. They have the right to do virtual shows all they want. And they don't have to give Candace that option. Candace, you can either go in person or not. Then go face Erica Kirk face to face because that's what she's scared to do. You can say anything behind a camera. Why you can't go and say that to her face is my question. Candace, I know you listen to you, heifer. Say whatever it is you got to say. Now you have the opportunity to say it to Erica's face directly. And you scared to do that. You can't make this up. See another line, Candaspiracy. Yeah, I know. Wikipedia can contribute to it. Exactly. That's why I didn't pull it from Wikipedia. I pulled it from that factually.co website. I didn't even go to Wikipedia, because she thinks nothing on Wikipedia is real. Okay, fine. Still got it from another website, and that separate website had 3 birthdays, not 2. So Candace, at some point, you got to make up your mind. She could just have someone check it and update it for her. Oh, Francesca, how you doing, honey? Shout out to all the supporters in the UK. Can we get a hoorah for the UK? Hope all is well. So, I guess if you guys want, leave it in the comment section. If you want to go over some of the basic science behind facial recognition patterns and the analysis, and how they come up with the percentages from the testing samples and all this other stuff, the science behind it, I can in another video. We can do a separate video on that. But here's where it gets good. So you go down here to where it talks about it on October 30th, 2025. Candace Owens asked the judge to dismiss the amended complaint. This is hyperlinked, so if you pull it up, all of these links work, and they go take you to either another article or some sort of website or a video. And then, of course, it says here the lawyers filed their detailed arguments, opening brief, as well as written and sworn testimony affidavit. And then these are links for some of the exhibits that they have here. All of these are links. Even the long titles here, that's a link. It goes to, I'll just click on it. This goes to a video.
Physiquement ou mentalement à cause de ses propos.
So you guys can see just several different links to YouTube channels, articles. But let's go here. Let's go here. Blame it on the pregnancy. Hold on a second. Because it disconnected. Oh, yeah. Candace. Candace. It came to my blame it on the pregnancy video. So y'all see here, blame it on the pregnancy. Text you to my video. Candace, he's not playing with you, girl. He's not playing with you. Oh my God. Candace attacking Nick, declared war the Grapers versus Cantifas. Oh, you can't make this up. Did she not see it coming? Didn't she say that Nick Fuentes deserves to have a voice on social media? Candace, you did say, just like with Tucker Carlson, no one should be trying to shut up Nick Fuentes when he was saying things that you agree with, right? When he was going after people you don't like yourself, then you're okay with it. This is why I keep saying you're bad at this, Candace. You don't have a spine. You cannot be this flaky when it comes to journalism. People get attacked all the time. But for you to be this flip-flopsy, Candace, where you're okay with Nick saying things as long as he's targeting the people you don't like, right? Just like how she won't denounce Nicholas Ray's actions with sending online death threats to 3 Jewish conservatives. Or somehow she thinks it's okay to dox kids because they're wearing a maroon shirt. But the moment he says something she doesn't like and he's going after her, oh, now there's a war. Candace, go sit your behind out somewhere. Garrett kick rocks. It ain't no war. You don't have to agree with everything everybody says, and they're not going to say everything that you want to hear. That's not how it works. Candace, you're 30 something years old. You've got 4 kids in the boys club. At some point, you're going to have to grow up. You can't make this up. I told y'all she's bad at this. Dear Lord. Hey, Lord, what's going on? How you doing? So yeah, it takes you all to my to this video. Here it is, Candace. Listen up. This is
the appropriate context. Okay. Cardi B, the rapper, had to testify recently in a court case that was brought against her. And I'm listening to what she is saying as she is being questioned about certain things. And I realized that this could actually be me answering questions about how I got involved in the Brigitte Macron case. Let's roll the clip.
She wrote.
I don't think I was like on a high level of angry. I was more on.
Yeah, this is what her. She was trying to blame the pregnancy on her lying like hell on the first lady of France. Candace. Yeah, she already planned on going to court. And here it is. This is my video on my channel. 350 views. Y'all get the views up. Come on. It landed in an article. Hopefully will be used as an exhibit. Oh, go in there and check it out and hit the like button on that video. You can't make this up. Maroon is making a bold statement in 2025, not just in fashion, but also in interior design. It is predicted to be a lasting trend, with maroon being the 2025 color of the year by Bear. Hey now, I have no problem with the color maroon. I just don't understand why Candace can't just go after people who wear green. I mean, it's the school color. She just randomly pick a color and just say, yeah, find these kids for me. No, Candace, that's doxing. You're asking your candy ass cult members to go after people that have to find personal identifiable information about these students for the purposes of what? They haven't committed a crime, and you're not a commissioned officer. You're not law enforcement. You're not an investigator, Candace. You're impersonating, if anything. But you don't have any legal standing to be looking people up. She didn't learn anything from this social autopsy. She learned nothing from that. So, since you didn't learn anything from that, Candace, you're going to learn the hard way. I'm telling you right now. Because one thing these parents are not going to appreciate is you sitting down, putting up their kids all over social media, and then sicking all your cult members after them to go and research them when they have not committed a crime. And you are not a commissioned officer of any law with any authority to try to track them down to figure out who they are. Because that's not how it works. You don't get to do that. You're invading on people's privacy simply because you think they're weird or suspicious. No one cares. So when it happens, people need to sue her. Period. People need to sue her. And you stop playing around with it. And if she does something, especially where people have already received death threats, and she doesn't even want to recognize that, yeah, a lawsuit would do her just nicely because she pays attention to that. You'll pay attention to that lawsuit all day, girl. But when someone's telling you to stop doxing people, you ignore it. Okay. Yeah, you playing around, girl. Playing around too much. She playing around too much. So here's where we are. Shout out to Linda Walker. Juju. What's going on? Juju says, hey, what's going on? That crane looked red, but it was really maroon. I know, right? Optimus Prime is really purple. You can't make this stuff up. All the Transformers want her to leave them alone. Optimus Prime said, I'm not in the mood. You can't do this. Jimmy Tracy's Candace Owens is doing this all for money. She's making money off her YouTube channel, destroying Charlie Kirk's legacy. Yeah, she is. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. Because Candace, if you were trying to put out facts, you will put out documentation and evidence to support it. You can't call it a fact simply because you said so. And it's very dangerous. I've been calling her out on the doxing thing since she was doing it to Phil Lyman. Y'all know how long ago that was? That was about 2 months ago. I've been calling her out on this doxing thing for 2 months. And she doxed Phil Lyman, his mother, and a cousin. It's like, what did they do to deserve that? So, every time she does that nonsense, I'm going to call her out on it. No. People go looking for these kids. They should get a lawsuit. All these fake wannabe mommy sleuths that are impersonating agents and, investigators online. Yeah, okay. Hiding behind these YouTube channel names aren't going to really do you much good if it comes down to it and the court says, yeah, you get to unveil who they are so you can send them a lawsuit. Because this is getting out of control. It's out of control. People deserve to live in peace and harmony, Candace, and they deserve to go to school and to be able to learn. These parents are not paying that high-ass tuition for you to sit here and dox their students, their children, because they're wearing a maroon shirt. Girl, stop. Bye, Felicia. You can't make this up. All right. Truth Watch today. What happened? Somebody got mad. Oh, Lord. Truth, yes. Truth, big. Who is Truth? Hold on. Am I missing somebody? Was it Truth? Yes, Mr. Yep, I will be watching. Okay. That's why Optimus Prime is a great representation of the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, Lord. That's so funny. So y'all check out this video. It landed in the article. Shout out to the article. Shout out to Pravda, friends.news-pravda.com. Oh my goodness. I'm honored. I really am. I'm very honored to be listed and featured in that. And like I said, Candace, this is not gonna work.
On a high level of concern. Very concerned.
Me too.
And why were you concerned?
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work, Candace. You can't go in there talking about it's not my fault, it's the baby. Girl, please. Your kids gonna get mad. They're gonna grow up and see this video and be like, Mommy, why are you blaming me for something? I had no idea what was going on. All right, y'all. Let's get to the bad. Oh, Candace. How bad is this? Just give me a heads up. What do I need to look out for? Oh, child. Is the headache going to be too bad? Are we going to make it through? Then I don't blame him. I'll be right back making a sandwich. Candace, go make Boys Club a sandwich, okay? Because you screwing up all over the place right now. You have no idea what's coming your way. I keep saying that. Candace, I keep saying that. At some point, you'll start believing. Oh, man. This is how you know we're going to be watching on every hearing. I'm going to be listening on every single hearing related to this lawsuit. All my videos can be used as exhibits. I don't care. Let that happen. I will be right there. And no, Candace, I'm not testifying for you. You brought this upon yourself. This is all your fault. All right, y'all, let's get to this. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like button. I appreciate you all for watching. I'm going to try my best not to stop and pause it so much. But if she says something dumb, I'm going in. All right, put a 1 in the chat where you can see and hear. Let's go.
All right, you guys, happy Monday. I am here. And I got to tell you, Charlie Kirk discussing the JFK assassination, that sure is something. You haven't yet seen this clip that's making the rounds. We have it for you. And it makes it kind of hilarious, even more hilarious, that the very organization that Charlie Kirk built is trying to sell to the public that the very idea of a government-sanctioned assassination is crazy. And on that point, another interesting lead has come in regarding the potential French connection, regarding which I should mention that Kash Patel has been directly asked about their potential involvement in Charlie Kirk's assassination. And his answer, his reply to that question is stunning. I should say, actually, it's a non-answer. So welcome back to Candace.
A non-answer. Oh, Lord.
What do you guys think Charlie Kirk would have said about his own assassination? Just think about that. What would his perspective have been on everything that we are currently being told, people that are being attacked about it? I think about that actually often, and listening to his perspectives regarding political assassinations of the past in retrospect.
I'm already pausing it. That's such a dumb question. What's going on, Satiric? How you doing? Hope all is well, honey. Yeah. Candace, What do you mean? What does he think about his own assassination? Why would he even think about that? No one thinks about their own assassination. You know, what do I think about my own assassination? What? Oh, why would you leave Charlie Kirk alone? Just leave him alone. If this man has came to you in a vision, which will be an unfamiliar spirit, the Bible speaks of it as witchcraft. But let's just say he did do that with you because witchcraft. Then wouldn't you think he would tell you, why would I want my own assassination? Why would I? What do you mean? What do I think of it? That's a dumb question. How we going here, Candace? I thought you was gonna revisit the hospital and the doctors and all of that. What the heck is what kind of question is this? Y'all on Exhibit A. She's still doing dumb stuff. You can't make this up. Oh my God.
Respect really is something. So one of his, honestly, one of his last events in May of this year, Charlie was directly asked his opinion regarding John F. Kennedy's assassination down in Dallas. And here is what Charlie had to say.
In the JFK files, Mossad is mentioned. One of the reasons why Mossad is mentioned so much is that they're just a very good intelligence operation. It was not mentioned as if they were tied or that they knew about it or that they were involved. Again, I think the best reading of what happened there is who wanted JFK dead the most. Again, a lot of people said Israel wanted JFK dead. I'd love to hear that argument. But definitely Lyndon Baines Johnson and parts of our own government and the Cubans wanted him dead. And who actually made it happen? There were like 15 or 20 things that happened that day that were inexcusable. They changed the parade route. He rode in an open air convertible. LBJ decided not to ride alongside of him. The vehicle slowed down right when it went by. The Texas School Book Depository. A lot there, right? And then again, I think that all of us are smarter to believe that it was simply Lee Harvey Oswald. The more important question is not, oh, who did it? We have to first acknowledge it that more than one person did it. Once we acknowledge that more than one person did it, then we can expose our government to have lied to us about the JFK assassination, which then I think will sober a lot of us about trusting the government in the future.
I mean, yes, all of that. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for reminding us that you had common sense, that you didn't accept force-fed narrative, that you did not accept the BS crap that our government has sold us regarding the one individual that was involved in JFK's assassination. Of course, multiple people were involved and a lot of strange things occurred on that day. That is what makes his answer there so compelling.
Okay, we can all do that. So, Candace, I don't accept your force-fed narrative and your nonsense and your buffoonery about, Charlie Kirk's killer having to scale a wall like Spider-Man when he just walked up some stairs, because there's a whole video on that. The fact that you failed to go to UVU yourself and actually tour the campus and see exactly how the shooter may have gotten to the roof of the building. Someone else did that for you. As a matter of fact, we got his video. We're probably going to be watching that because this is going to be really annoying. Paramount Tactical went to the campus, Candace, and he literally just walked up some stairs to the roof of the building. Why couldn't you get your little ass on a plane and go fly out to UVU yourself and then go do a tour and retrace the steps of the shooter? That way you can see that Tyler Robertson did not have to become Spider-Man. He didn't have to do that. And the way he came down, he jumped down from one part of a building to another. That's not a climb. Then he walked down some stairs. I mean, it was pretty much it. And then you make these statements about, we got to find all these kids that was at the school and at the event. Never mind the fact that it wasn't all students either. You had children there. You had minor children there too. And let's not forget, she's obsessed already over this one event in history where she watches several videos of Charlie Kirk being shot over and over and over and over again. After going on 4 months, on the 10th, it'll be 4 months, and she's still watching it over and over again like it happened yesterday. You can't make this up, but you won't go face Erica Kirk face to face. You don't want to look Erica Kirk in her face and be forced to answer questions or produce your evidence on all this dumb crap you've been saying about her deceased husband, to whom they had 2 kids. These kids got to grow up. She keeps saying everybody is, is fake and gay and no one is real. He had 2 kids. And I asked this question the other day. Are the kids real, Candace? Are Charlie Kirk's 2 kids real? Because you keep saying no one was real in his life. Never mind his parents, his spouse, his children. Are they not real? Did the kids have some involvement in this? Last time I checked, they were what? 5 and 4, something like that. 2, 3 years old, 4 years old. Candace, did the kids have something to do with their own father's assassination? How far are you willing to go with this nonsense? Now the kids are fake. You can't make this up. The fact that she thinks people believe what she says, and people do. But where it matters the most is, will the jury and the judge believe it? Because if you're lying about something significant as someone being born a man, when that's something you have to prove with scientific evidence, to which they will be bringing plenty of, then you're willing to lie and capable of lying about a whole assassination where the world witnessed someone get shot and lost his life. Of course you'll lie about that. You can't even figure out why you should be lying about someone being born a man or woman. And it's like, I'm not even going to say this is the worst lie she can tell, like the worst things she can lie about, because she probably can configure something worse than that. But it's pretty bad when you're willing to lie about an assassination. And then to say no one in his life was real, despite the fact that he had 2 minor children. Are the children fake as well? Does this so-called fake and gay include the children? Because knowing Candace Owens, I feel like I have to ask that question. I don't want to assume with her. So Candace, does the fake and gay thing and no one being real in Charlie Kirk's life, does that include the 2 small minor children? Or his parents? You know, his mother gave birth to him. If she would have seen just a small video clip of Charlie Kirk's mother grieving on the day of the private funeral, I mean, you have to have, you can't have a soul if you think that that woman was not grieving for the loss of her son that she gave birth to. And you're taking away her motherhood. And here Candace is always talking about, oh, my children, my children. But never mind the fact that you're lying on someone else's child. You're posting up photos of somebody else's kids. These college kids are someone else's child. They don't want to go to school. They have to worry about seeing their photo on your channel, in your video, where you're telling people to go find out who they are. And then they feel like they got to out themselves because they're scared of your stupid cult members who have no brain. And they believe everything you say because they're willing to dox people and invade someone's privacy, find out personal information that's not available to the general public, that may not be available on the internet. That is doxing. It's illegal. And you should catch many lawsuits for that. But if she is willing to do all of this, then maybe she does include the children when she talks about no one being authentic and real in Charlie Kirk's life. Maybe it does include his 2 small kids, right? Candace, does it include his kids? You know, one of them's barely walking, still walking, learning how to walk. Are they still in? I think one of them's still in diapers. Yeah, you know, because at some point they've learned how to plot an assassination by the age of 4. You can't make this up.
Compelling, okay? Especially in the midst of, well, MK Ultra 2.0. Remember the first government psyop on the people, MK Ultra, what actually came together, sorry, I should say Mockingbird 2.0. The first government psyop on the people following JFK's assassination, Mockingbird 1.0, to convince everybody through influence that there was nothing to see here, even though there was so much to see there. And now it's being deployed again, Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird 2.0, to convince people that questions about the Charlie Kirk narrative are just crazy, right? How dare you consider that there may have been employees at Turning Point USA who could be engaged in an obvious cover-up at this moment? Well, Pastor Frank Turek says that's so crazy because that would mean that Charlie Kirk hired people that ultimately betrayed him. And no one's ever been betrayed by people that they trust in the history of the world. Okay, well, actually, maybe that did happen for Jesus Christ. That's just one historical example of a person surrounded by somebody that they trust
I thought
who
she didn't
would
believe in
ultimately
Jesus Christ.
betray them. And yes, JFK.
Wait, Candace, you believe in Jesus Christ now? Do you really believe in Jesus Christ? Because I don't think Candace does. Because you talk to dead people in visions, where the Bible is clear about that being a form of witchcraft. So you believe in Jesus Christ, not Candace. Jesus also said, take up your cross and follow me. I don't foresee Candace Owens carrying a cross nowhere. And to the candy asses, you all do realize that Candace Amber Owens Farmer did not die on a cross for your sins. You do realize she's not God. I don't even know if she should be saying Jesus Christ unless she's asking for his help. Because it just feels too close to her trying to compare herself to him. Candace, do you really believe in Jesus Christ? I just don't get the feeling you do, girl.
Who personally selected Lyndon Baines Johnson to be his vice president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was clearly implicated in JFK's assassination. Charlie rightfully says that is obvious by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all very plausible.
Oh,
and Charlie, you can see, does not readily dismiss the idea that the Mossad may have been involved. He says he'd like to hear more of an argument on that, as he asserts that definitively parts of our government had to have been involved. And he says the Cubans, the commies, wanted him dead. Charlie is encouraging the inquiry further. Who wanted JFK dead the most? Okay, well, we should continue down that path. Who wanted Charlie Kirk dead the most and why? And
Candace, you didn't even care for like a year leading up to his death. You didn't post up anything to indicate that you and him talked. Fake text messages does not count. And because you said so does not count either. That's not facts. Because I have to keep saying this for the candy ass cult members that keep thinking that, she said it, so it must be true. It's not how facts work. She'll learn that the hard way in court. Judge Rennie has no problem reminding her of the definition of the word facts. Oh, it's going to be epic. Candace, who wanted Charlie Kirk dead the most? You just said no one in his life was real. Everyone was fake. So why even question this? Make this make sense. Why pose this question if you've already concluded in your mind no one was real, everyone is fake and gay, no one exists, never mind his kids, his wife, or his parents? You've already made this conclusion. So what are you posing this question for? It's so weird.
And Charlie was very much in the political fast lane. Okay. And in the political fast lane, they want you dead for really one or all of these three reasons: money, secrets, and or power. We know that Charlie said no to money right before he died. I think that means he
Candace, are you saying no to money? Let's go over her channel, shall we? Because I just feel like this needs to be done again. Candace. Oh, look at the views on your videos, girl. Every time you talk about Charlie Kirk, look at this. 649,000 views from 3 hours ago. 2.1 mil, 1.6, 2.1 mil, 2.1, 2.3, 2.1, 2.1. And to the candy ass cult members, YouTube pays like 10 cents per 1,000 views, so you can do the math on that. So just estimate, if this is what she's getting 4 or 5 days a week, every week for almost 4 months now, how much money do you think she's made? Just on the views and the likes and stuff. That's not including the cash apps, the supers, any of that. Oh, and if you would like to support the channel here in the Lady Luck Club, the cash app is scrolling down below. $ Lady Luck Club LLC. Supers are appreciated. We had a goal. I took away the goal only because I don't want anybody to feel like it's forced. But if you would like to financially support the channel, I don't care if it's a 99-cent super or whatever. Everything's appreciated. Now bless God for it. Candace, how much money did you make for October, November, and December from YouTube? 2.1, 2.3, 2.1, 2.1, 1.8, 1.6, 2.3, 2 mil. You're averaging 2 million views, at least 4 out of 5 days a week for 4 months straight. Of course, some got more, especially in the beginning when she started talking about it. I mean, this video right here, they are lying about Charlie Kirk. She got 9 million views on that and still growing. 5.8, 7 mil. To my friend Charlie Kirk, 7 million views. 4.5 mil, 3.5, 4.8. Candace, you're the one racking it in. That's just on YouTube. We haven't even gotten to your Facebook, your Twitter or Instagram or your book club. You know, those paywalls you got up. Everything shot up for her. And it grossed her a lot of money that the Macrons are all too happy to sue your ass out of. Yeah, can we bless God for lawsuits? Thank God for lawsuits. We thank God for lawsuits and for the rule of law. And where the Bible says, Candace, because Christians believe in the Bible, thou art to obey the laws of the land. That means your cyber crimes you're committing, like doxing, is illegal. It's also a violation of the word of God. So you keep, pretending to be a Christian all you want. I'm just trying to figure out how. I'm curious to know how, when you're willing to violate whole scriptures and break laws of the land. Here in the United States of America, doxing is illegal. No one cares if you like it or not. You can't make this up. Candace is the one racking in. I mean, it's just a point of fact. It's based on numbers. I don't even care what her supers look like. I can just imagine the hundreds of thousands of dollars she's getting paid for every video she has posted up. You can't make this up.
He probably knew a secret right before he died. And there is no doubt that his youth political organization had achieved a considerable amount of political power. Could there have been global implications? Of course. People are laughing. They've been laughing this entire time because just following the evidence of what transpired on that day, a lot of odd things that transpired on that day, just like on the day of JFK's assassination. Well, that pointed.
Okay, she's talking about JFK. Let me get to this comment right quick. So let me help you out. The fearless pupil, is that it? Also grifting if his death. I'm assuming you meant of by investigating it. Yeah, because she's getting a lot of views on it. And she's not presenting any evidence to support anything she's saying. Repeating a lie over and over again does not make it true. So unless you have those transactions that she's talking about to this club, from going through this club d'Assault, to prove that somehow the French president, the Macrons, are trying to assassinate her, then you can't say that you're putting out facts if you have no evidence and documentation. She's saying that Tyler Robinson did not pull the trigger and that he had to climb a wall like Spider-Man. But she hasn't presented any evidence to show someone else did it. She talks about Egyptian planes, but yet can't connect it to the actual assassination that happened at the UVU campus, meaning the plane didn't land in the middle of the school campus. None of the passengers were identified as having been attendees at the actual event. I'm still waiting on a video from another candy-ass cult member for the underground tunnels that they said that they were going to show me. Because they said everything she said was true about the campus and they didn't live too far from it. And I dared them to go and record these underground tunnels that she said were being used for someone to tunnel through and come up from some underground secret door to shoot someone. See, either you're going to show me the evidence or you would have to say that she lied about it, which is one of the things that candy-ass cult member had to do. That candy-ass cult member had to profess that the communistic bees thing is not true. Step one. You said, meanwhile, TP USA are selling merch of clothes CK wore while he got shot. They're not selling the shirt he wore when he got shot. They're selling t-shirts that were already made. They already had t-shirts like that. It's not like they got remembering Charlie Kirk and then the bullet going through his neck printed on a t-shirt. They're selling merch for TPUSA, the brand. They already had those shirts. Weren't they throwing out those shirts to the crowd for free? Correct me if I'm wrong here. Weren't those same t-shirts being thrown out as freebies to the crowd when he first came out? Do I have to pull that video up? Because he was giving out t-shirts when he first came out to the crowd. Weren't those the same t-shirts that he was throwing out for free to the crowd? Did Candace remind you all of that? Same. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those t-shirts that they're selling now, they're saying Turning Point USA made merch that they've been making for years. And somehow selling those same t-shirts he was wearing that he was throwing out to the crowd somehow is them grifting off their own merch that they were already selling. Well, those not the same shirts. He was. Come on, candy ass cult members. Come on. Y'all can speak up. Well, those not the same t-shirts he was throwing out to the crowd for free. He wasn't charging anyone when he was tossing out those shirts. When he first came out on the UVU campus, he was throwing out some shirts. Weren't those the same t-shirts? Now you're saying Turning Point USA selling their own merch is a bad thing when they had already made those t-shirts. Those t-shirts, let me put it like this. For the people in the back, those t-shirts already existed here on earth in this reality. Because Charlie Kirk brought those same t-shirts with him to the event that he was throwing out to the crowd for free. And now they're selling them because there was a demand for them. You know, the law of supply and demand. You know, Candace always talks about how Boys Club is teaching her about how the market is always right. And yet she learns nothing from that because Candace doesn't understand, you know, anything about a market. Candace, those are the same t-shirts that Charlie Kirk was throwing out to the crowd for free. How are they grifting off of their own merch they had already printed and had already been selling and decided to bring with them to give out for free to people at the event? You know, because common sense is a serious thing. And Candace doesn't have it. Candace, it's okay. Judge Rennie will help you figure that out too. I keep telling you, Candace, stop trying to put things together. Judge Rennie will help you understand what facts, evidence, documentation, truth, lies, common sense, logic, wisdom, all those things will be revealed to you when you start going to court. God, the candy asses hate my guts. You can't make this out. I don't even have to watch every event that Charlie Kirk had. And I know he was throwing out those same t-shirts. It is not a grift for a company to sell their own merch. Merch that existed prior to his assassination. For the love of God and all that's holy. When Candace Owens says something, it doesn't hurt you to research and Google it to fact check it. It's okay. I promise you all, you won't melt if you go behind Candace and just let me Google this and see if this is something they are just selling out of nowhere. You know, no, those t-shirts existed. You know, because we bless God for research. They existed already. Candace, this is why one of my videos being used in a whole article dealing with exhibits related to your lawsuit. Oh, man. Oh, well, good Lord, this is so epic. Oh, God, you can't make this stuff up. Charlie Kirk has 2 kids that's got to grow up and watch these videos. And they're going to think that these t-shirts were a bad thing that their daddy created with his company. You are not understanding how you're hurting the kids with this nonsense. Try it out, you all. I promise you. Google. When she says something, just do a quick Google search. You have information at your fingertips. I challenge you to do that. I'm still waiting. Where's Joe? Joey, come up in here. What's his name? Joel or Joey? What was it, Joe? I'm still waiting on that video of them underground tunnels. You said you were going to show me some visuals. I'm waiting on it. You can't make this stuff up. Where's Joey at? Joey, I want my damn video, bro. The candy asses hate my guts. they still watch. They love the banter.
Us into the direction of a particular satellite of countries and continents that have somehow come up in this investigation. I'll paint that for you now. Yes, we have mentioned France.
Lord.
Yes, we have mentioned Israel.
Lord.
Yes, we have mentioned the United States government. And yes, we have mentioned Egypt.
Candace. God, this is priceless. Candace, which one of your kids drew these flags on this damn piece of paper? Y'all, she put a picture of 4 flags on a piece of paper and put this in a PowerPoint and thought she was doing something. Candace, what the hell does this prove? Anybody can put a picture of 4 flags from 4 different countries, put some lines and connect it to a center box and put Charlie Kirk in the middle. Does that automatically mean these countries have something to do with the assassination? This isn't evidence. Objection. This has got to be the most elementary thing you can do. Y'all, this is what she's teaching her kids when she's homeschooling. Candace, it's okay to teach your kids about the flags that represent different countries. Can you not have them think these flags are supposed to connect to a center box that says Charlie Kirk assassination in the middle? You can't make this up. This is priceless.
Which is in Africa. Wow, that seems crazy. People also laughed when I said that there was thereafter a viable threat, which came from the Macron couple who apparently paid for my assassination. And yet, strangely, neither the Pentagon nor the White House or our intel agencies or the Elysee Palace are disputing that narrative. And now we can add officially.
We are disputing it. Where's the daggone transaction receipts, you helper? Yeah, hold on, let me go back. What the heck is going on? Lord. Oh man, you gotta laugh to keep from getting the headache, Candace. Oh, child. Oh, you precious child.
I mentioned Egypt, which is in Africa. Wow, that seems crazy. People also laughed when I said that there was thereafter a viable threat, which came from the Macron couple who apparently paid for my assassination. And yet, strangely, neither the Pentagon nor
apparently, Candace, you're not saying it as an opinion. I'm going to screenshot this because, see, you keep messing up. I mean, we're here for it, because it's nothing for me to just snip this stuff. You said apparently, Candace. Do you understand the definition of the word apparently? I'm going to give one of the candy asses the opportunity to define the word apparently. You'd be surprised. It doesn't mean opinion. Can one of the candy asses define the word apparently? And tell me what it means. Drop it in the comments. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be shy. I want to make sure you all are keeping up because the definition of the word apparently does not equate to my opinion or my theory. You keep using terminology, Candace. It is clear that you're making it a fact. Does Israel support me? I thought you people said they were sending me $7,000. It's Benjamin Netanyahu owes me some money, apparently. You can't make this up. Yeah, you come over here. I don't pick sides, girl. Israel does not dictate my platform, and neither does anyone else, including Candace. Candace, you run nothing over here, girl. You have no power or control on this platform. I say that with all that I got. You can't make this up. Yeah, don't make me go back to the flags again. Candace, you said apparently paid for my assassination. Are you really doing this? It was a viable threat. Candace, where's the text message you sent to the FBI? Is she about to show that? Because I want to see it. I've been hounding her on Twitter X about this for over a week and a half. I know you see my messages, you heifer.
Who apparently paid for my assassination, and yet strangely neither the Pentagon nor the White House.
Oh my God, you can make this up. Hell, I gotta get screenshot that. Who apparently paid the Macron couple.
Who apparently paid for my
assassination. Y'all look at this. I just want the candy asses to see this. This is why she's in court. Candace, this snippet right here. You're just adding on to this. You can't say that there's any level of plausible deniability. I wish people would stop saying that because they don't understand how court works either. You can't say that the Macron couple who apparently paid for my assassination, apparently based on what? You're making an affirmative allegation. This is not an assumption. This is not my opinion, my theory, based on the information that I have that I'm going to present now, including these receipts for these transactions that went to Club d'Assault. No, I theorize. No, you're not doing that. This is the second time you have stated it as a fact, as an affirmative allegation, not even an assumption. I have the screenshots, Candace. This is why we do captions here in the Lady Luck Club. Because sometimes Candace says just the dumbest things that it's almost like, I can't believe she just said that. Then I get to read it for myself. And it's like, yeah, she said that.
And yet, strangely, neither the Pentagon nor the White House or our intel agencies or the Élysée Palace are disputing that narrative. And now we can add officially the FBI to that list of agencies that aren't denying that threat, because Kash Patel recently gave an interview to Megyn Kelly, and like an actual journalist and not a cutesy, wootsy influencer like Cam Higby.
Candace, you're not a journalist at all, girl. You're a gossiper. You're a blogger. That's it. You're not a journalist. You do no research. You just pull up random stuff, stuff like this. Let's go back. She pulls up stuff like this, and I guess this is supposed to be evidence. 4 flags that have lines drawn to a center box that has Charlie Kirk assassination in it. What the hell does this mean, Candace? If you had to present this to a judge, I want everybody to chime in. What do you all think the judge's perception of this photo would be? Let's hear some thoughts on this. If you had to look at this as a judge, I want you all to, put your robes on, put your judge's robes on. We all got what's going on in jail? Y'all, we're about to go into the mindset of a judge. If you had to put on your judge's shoes, put on that black robe, and you saw this photo, what is the first thing you would assume about this photo? I mean, you just take a stab at it. Let me know. Hit the like button while you're at it, while you're wondering. She's doing it again. She's picking on him. He's young and he is an actual journalist. Exactly. He asked a question. Candace, we're just asking questions. That's what journalists do. They ask questions. You don't ask questions, Candace. You make assumptions and false allegations and purport it to be a fact. You disseminate medical information without the consent of Erica Kirk, because you won't face Erica Kirk and tell her that you did that without her permission. Now, will you? Erica Kirk, I know she would ask her about that because I tagged Erica Kirk in that video. You posted up that EMR screenshot that was sent to you illegally, violating HIPAA privacy laws, and disseminated it, Candace, without consent from Erica Kirk. No one needed to know Charlie Kirk went to that ER. We just needed to know if he went to the hospital. We didn't need to know which one. And we certainly did not need to see any EMR records of any sort. You needed permission to do that. she could sue you and you could be held liable. That's invasion of privacy. See, these are the things that I'm sure Erica Kirk will ask her about, that Candace Owens cannot look Erica Kirk in the eyes and answer unless she plans on lying to her face, which we all know she's capable of doing. But Candace, would you really want to lie to Erica Kirk's face as to why you didn't get her consent to disseminate that medical information? See, these are all the things Candace has done. This is one of many. And she's not going to face Erica Kirk about this. But I want to ask you all about this. Let's get to it. Y'all tell me some answers you got here. So you're a judge. You see this photo. What do you think? Yeah, they know they don't have to denounce their partner. They'll be back. Most of them don't even leave. They just come right back. Because they're so precious. They come right back. Child, please. Don't threaten me with a good time. You can't make this up. How much do influencers get paid to talk about suggested topics? Who knows? Yeah, you might want to ask Candace that, because she's racking in millions of views. Start with that. I already told you YouTube pays 10 cents per 1,000 views. That's some math. I'll leave you to that in the calculator. You can calculate up based on Candace's views. Because if you compare it to mine, I mean, it's not like I'm getting in 100,000 views in a video or something like that. I'm almost close to it. I'm halfway there, but I'm not there. She's getting in 2 to 3 million views. So YouTube pays 10 cents per 1,000 views. Do the math. Wouldn't she naturally make more money than I would? I'm just saying. When is Israel going to cut me the $7,000 check? Can't make this happen. Oh my good Lord. I'm trying to see picking on Cam. Yeah, solo. Y'all tell me exactly what the judge would think about this photo. Insanity. Oh man, yeah. Charles drawing. Thank you. Your voice is scary. Boogity woogity. It's okay, T. Smith. I'm honestly, very gentle. I don't bite. But boogity woogity. You can't make this up. That's the third time she has made fun of him on her show, because she has nothing else to talk about. Candace, you're being a bully. Leave the boy alone. He's asking questions. That's it. It's the same thing you claim you're doing when you're not. Good grief. Just like she posts up kids on college campuses. This is like a George Soros operations bot. It's exactly the bots. Lady, what's going on? See, how you doing, honey? Cam Higby said he is going over all her material since Charlie's assassination, and that he saw the infamous chat, and that she lied about Charlie leaving Israel. He is making an expose on her. I am here for it. I am here for it. Email me his video or YouTube channel. Did he have a YouTube channel? I didn't even know it. Somebody emailed a link to his YouTube channel when you get a chance for Cam Higby. We sure will check out his videos. We already have what's her name? Colonel Kurtz, who's doing a Becoming Candace series. We're here for it. Oh, we're here for it. Francisca said a kid's joy. Cam is actually doing what she can. Exactly. Mira says his thumbs have blisters from all the posting. Jelly. Someone said jelly. They're probably getting way more than 7K because the pressure campaign has picked up since Candace don't let up. I want Candace to keep on talking. Let me be clear on this, Surfer. All right. I don't want Candace to stop talking. I never said she should shut up. I said she should go make George a sandwich because she wrote a book about that. She don't want to put that out there, not me. I just take her words and her stuff and use it against her. But I never said I want her to shut up. If any of the Luxes in here know, and you've listened to at least one episode, you will know that I have said that she should keep on talking because she keeps giving more evidence against her in the court of law. She doesn't care that everything she says and does can be used against her in this lawsuit. She don't care about that. So why should I? I wanted to keep talking. That's why, Candace, run your mouth, girl. So I can keep making these snippets. And the judge can see all this good stuff you saying that makes you even more liable for damages. And every time you talk, just understand it's more money they can ask and add on to it because it's getting more and more derogatory. Keep talking. I just don't want her to dox these kids in college. I don't want her to dox anybody. I don't want her disseminating medical information she doesn't have the consent to do, because Candace Owens is not above the rule of law. Committing a cybercrime is something she should not want to do. But her running her mouth and making it harder for herself, no, I don't care. She can keep talking. I never told her to shut up. You will not hear me say that about Candace Owens in the Lady Luck Club. Nope. I want to talk until God returns. That way they have even more evidence to solidify their case. Because that's exactly what needs to happen. She needs to be sued to kingdom come. She's the dirtiest of the dirt. Oh, no, this is propaganda. Never mind the t-shirts that you all are claiming Turning Point is selling that they already had created before Charlie Kirk was shot. Bless your heart, T. Smith. He'll be back. He'll be back. Yeah, just keep this photo in mind now. Keep this in mind. To the candy asses, y'all keep this picture in mind. If you were a judge, you look at this and say, yeah, this is a lot of evidence to prove there's a lot of connections. Yep, this makes sense. You know, I'm going to introduce this on over to the jury. Let them have a look at it. This tells me a whole lot. This is all from a PowerPoint slide where she looked up online. What is the flag of France? What is Israel's flag? What is Africa, Egypt? Candace, Africa is a continent. You did not have to put Africa/Egypt. You could have literally just put Egypt, Candace. You did not have to put Africa. That's like putting the continent in front of France, Europe/France. Like, why are you doing that? U.S. government. Why U.S. government? Why not United States of America? She might as well put North America/USA. She got Africa/Egypt. Europe/France. I mean, what are we doing? No one puts the continent in front of the country. You just put the country if that is the country's flag. It's simple stuff like this. So as you can see, if you're looking at it from a judicial stance, you will look at this and laugh at it and then say, what the hell is this? I am on one tonight. What the hell is this? What is this evidence proving, Candace? Because I know you listening, Heifer. What is this proving, girl? You put a continent in front of a country. You understand the continent of Africa. The continent does not have a flag. It's the countries in Africa, Candace, that have their own flag. What the hell? Y'all, I didn't know that North America had a whole flag. That's like saying continents have flags. You can't make this shit up. Good grief. Y'all.
It's right over it. And instead says, if any American has a threat, that's what we're here for.
You can't make
it's right
this
over
up.
Looking at it because actually it kind of left me on red. There has been no communication with the FBI.
Hold on,
you are aware.
Trying to play this up.
Actual journalist and not a cutesy weepsy influencer like Camp Higby. Don't laugh, don't laugh. Megyn Kelly asked him directly about the Macron couple and about the allegation that they attempted to orchestrate an assassination on my life, and of course, whether or not they could have been involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, which I have said, right? Here is what Kash Patel says in response, or rather what he doesn't say in response. Take a listen.
There has been an allegation made by prominent podcaster Candace Owens that she's received a death threat, a credible death threat from the French, that a threat has been made on her life, and that the French, she's been told, also may have had a role in Charlie's assassination. Have you looked into either of those? Do you believe she's received a credible death threat from the French, or that the French had something potentially to do with Charlie's death?
Any American that receives a death threat from overseas or anywhere in America is going to be fully investigated. So we're not going to turn our eye away from that investigation or any other.
Candace, I told you this my damn self, girl. This proves nothing. And I'm not the FBI director. I said, anytime you make an allegation like that, because I went over this and said that I dared her to file a formal complaint to the FBI and even pulled up the federal law on making false and misleading statements to a federal government agency or in a federal investigation. Did I not go over that? It's in a previous video. I tell you all this because I actually look up the law too. And I gave the penal code and the law and what it states and everything. Because if she were to file a false complaint to the FBI, knowingly and intentionally file that false complaint with no evidence. Once again, no evidence. She sent a text message to somebody. So no evidence. She admitted herself she did not do it the formal way. There's no formal email. It's a formal complaint you file online. But she said she did not do it the formal route. She sent a text message to some high-ranking FBI agent. You know, the same FBI she says she doesn't trust. To the candy asses, do you all still not trust the FBI? And if you don't, why is your cult leader sending text messages to FBI agents about some fictitious threat on her life she has not proven any evidence for yet? And I say yet because I can't say it doesn't exist, even though I can, but I'm not going to say it right now. She won't even produce the transactions, the receipts that she claims there's a paper trail for. She wants all of France to do it. You know, the country she doesn't like either. I'm trying to figure out here, why is this supposed to be some sort of grand thought when it's standard? It is standard. And I don't think he would be paying any attention to an average American that didn't have a following like Candace. If I were to say the same thing, I would probably be investigated and they would assume that I'm making a false complaint. But because of her notoriety, he's sitting here having to answer this question, something to which I've already said. You file an actual complaint, a formal complaint, and you say that there's some president of another country trying to take you out. Of course they're going to look into that. But you have to have enough evidence to even warrant the investigation, or else it's a waste of time, money, resources, and manpower. And they're not in the mood for that. They're not in the mood for that. They could be doing anything else. Any other good use of tax dollars, they could be doing that. Meanwhile, she still can't post the paper trail of these transaction payments to this club. Why wouldn't she even be specific about which club she's talking about? Why won't she post the text message she sent to the FBI agent? What he's saying is standard. This is not, oh, well, it's lying by omission, when she doesn't understand that concept either. Candace, the judge will be all too happy to help you understand what lying by omission really means.
If there's anything to it, this FBI will respond to it.
Okay, but so far,
You
no.
make this up.
So we are just looking at everything that comes in. We're not going to reject any piece of information. If someone feels that their life is being threatened, we are, of course, looking at it.
Do you want to involve me in
thing.
you looking at it? Because actually, it kind of left me on red. There has been no communication.
No, because you never filed a formal complaint. 1, 2, I dared you to do it. You still won't do it. 3, you provided no evidence to substantiate your claim. 4, you also sent the letter to the executive branch of government, and all you got was a confirmation that they put it on Trump's desk. Even though Trump is not an investigator. Neither is the White House. They're not an investigatory agency. So, because Candace Owens doesn't understand how the Department of Justice works, or our judicial branch of government, or the executive branch of government, or flags, or the difference between a continent and a country, somehow she thinks that they're supposed to be calling her and follow up with her. Candace, you're supposed to be giving them evidence. Why don't you start by telling them who contacted you and told you that payments were going through this Club de Sant? Start with that, and then actually send them the paper trail. Hell, tell us who this so-called female assassin, French assassin is, and this male Israeli operative is. If you want to put any information about anybody out there on, social media, why not put out information about 2 murderers? You have assassins that you're trying to conceal. So the bad guy gets to maintain their liberty and freedom in peace. But college kids wearing a maroon shirt that so happened to attend an event that unfortunately led to Charlie Kirk's assassination. And somehow you need to find those guys, the college kids, because of a color shirt. But yet, we can't know who the French female assassin and the male Israeli operative is that you claim is trying to take your life. We can't know any information about these people. And they murder people for fun. You can't make this up.
With the FBI, you are aware right there. Megyn Kelly is asking you directly about it, so you can't pretend you didn't receive it, and you are choosing to skip over. He completely skips over the part about me having asserted, which Megyn asks him directly, was France involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination? He doesn't even address that. Skips right over it, and instead says, if any American has a threat, that's what we're here for. And she's like, okay, but was there actually a threat? If anybody, let's just kind of state it more broadly, we will take it seriously. Well, you're not doing that, Kash Patel. And I find it very odd that I said that I had proof that the government of France was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, that they were on the ground that day, and you have not reached out to me. In this very interview that you are asserting that you are certain that Tyler Robinson is the only person involved, how can you be certain?
Candace, you want him to reach out to you about Tyler Robinson or about your so-called assassination attempt? Because what he does not owe you is any explanation or any information or any documentation related to an open investigation. That's more so spearheaded by the state of Utah. You do understand that the FBI is supporting the prosecutors in the state of Utah. That's where the jurisdiction falls under. Another term you can't define. So because Candace Owens doesn't understand how jurisdiction works, she thinks this is only being done by the FBI. No, they can't do that. Jurisdiction lies within the state of Utah, with the prosecutors in the state of Utah, because that is where the crime was committed, Candace. And I know you don't know how court works, but the FBI is there to support them, not to take over the investigation. That's it. It's that simple. That way, there are federal laws when it comes to releasing evidence related to an investigation, whether it be criminal or even a federal. There are laws on that. They're not going to violate the law so that you can know what the hell is going on when you're not entitled to know, girl. You don't have the legal standing or the authority to know. Remember, you don't work for the feds, the CIA, Department of Justice. You don't work for the government. And you don't trust the government. You don't trust the feds, remember? I'm going to hammer that in. Candace Owens does not trust the feds, but she's demanding the feds call her and give her evidence and information. Because reasons. the hypocrisy of it all. It's the hypocrisy for me, Candace. Oh, Lord, let's get some comments in. I'm neither, do you? I don't know what's happening. Susie said, Mira, I know her first name is Rachel. I can't remember her last. Francisca said, since when was Candace a law enforcement officer that would give her evidence in an ongoing case? Exactly. Whole laws that prohibit that. Candace does not have the right to know anything beyond what has already been released to the public. Now you understand why a judge and the prosecutor would like some sort of gag order in place, because look what the hell she's doing. Candace, you're the reason why the court does not feel comfortable with having a high-profile murder investigation go on without some level of a gag order. They have to control the release of the evidence. You want the jury to be tainted. You want there to be some sort of biased confirmation with the jury. Why? You're giving the defense a case. She wants Tyler Perry to be free. Or Tyler Robinson. Hello, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is being sued too. I was just listening to the lawsuit about him. You want Tyler Robinson to walk free? Is this what you want? When you can't show us the actual shooter, since you claim that you don't believe that it's Tyler Robinson. So if it's not him, common sense says somebody pulled the trigger. Who pulled it, Candace? Give us the name. Show us a photo. After 4 months of looking into this, you should be somewhat close to being able to narrow down 2 or 3 good names and photos where you can place those people at the event, not on an Egyptian plane, at the event with a gun on their person or near them, or some video capturing them taking a gun apart or putting it together, something. And she sit here and talk about underground tunnels, and I'm not supposed to want video evidence of that. Oh, dear God. You can't make this up. I'd rather wait for trial to make outlandish opinions. Me too. Just let the trial happen. Let the evidence be put before a non-biased, impartial jury. That way, whatever the ruling is, let's say he's found guilty. He's already admitted to it. But for the sake of him having due process, let's say he's found guilty. That is the verdict. It would make it harder for him to appeal it if you have an impartial jury. You want the case to be airtight to the point where the idea of Tyler Robinson filing an appeal should be laughable. It should be that difficult for him to even muster up any technical errors, any misinterpretation of law, discrepancies, violation of court rules to even warrant an appeal. She's literally going to have something result in a hung jury. At this rate, no one will be impartial to this, and they're going to have a difficult time getting a jury selection going. But because she doesn't understand how court works and she doesn't care because she won't read and research it, she doesn't care if they have an impartial jury or not. So the killer gets out and walks free, and then what? And she still can't tell us who the actual killer is that she believes it is. She still can't show any other alternative. Because common sense says if he didn't pull the trigger on the gun, someone did. So who is that person? They said the same thing about the O.J. Simpson case. Johnny Cochran got up and said, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Everybody walked out wondering, okay, if O.J. Simpson was acquitted and he didn't do it for the sake of argument, then who did? Somebody took these two people's lives. It's the same thing here. If Tyler Robinson didn't do it, who did it? You're still left with the killer out there on the loose. That is how ridiculous she is. And this is just common sense. It's common sense and wisdom right here. So tell us who did it, Candace. Or to the candy asses, because you guys here for the banter. Tell us who did it then. A specific name. She won't even name the French female assassin and that male Israeli operative. Just to narrow it down to two people. Like she won't even name anyone else. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Oh, Young said I posted on X at Coach Colin the info about MLK Jr. He said the government lied to people back in the 50s and 60s. I said typical cult member when met with facts, blame a conspiracy. Yeah, because that's what they do. Dodge, dip, duck, deflect, deter, dance around the subject, bushes and all. Candace, is the bush still a suspect? That's what I want to know. Is that bush that you obsessed over still a suspect on your list? Because I didn't see it in that org chart with those flags. You didn't put up a picture of the burning bush.
And if you are not reaching out to people that claim to have verifiable evidence, which could dispute that narrative.
Where's the evidence?
Does it seem to you like he's telling the truth there? Does it seem to you like he's being open?
No, he's saying
you are certain that Tyler Robinson.
That I said. It's standard. It's standard. You say there's another country world leader trying to come after you. Okay, it's standard. Did they look into it? But see, here's the thing with the FBI. You have to submit evidence and they have to approve an investigation to proceed. They don't just take your complaint and immediately investigate it. They have to, Candace, here's the word, vet it. Something she does not even do with her own tip line. Candace doesn't even know when she's being pranked reading a letter while she outs her own attorney's law firm. Candace, I hope you enjoyed that letter, girl. I already told you, you never know who wrote it. I could have written it. You can't make this up. She doesn't know how to vet her tip line, but somehow the FBI is just supposed to take a complaint and just go and run with it with no evidence. Candace, that's on you to give them evidence. They're not going to sit here and to try to prove your allegation to be true. You have to convince them that it's true. This is why she's going to lose in court. Candace, you're going to lose like hell.
Is the only person involved. How can you be certain if you are not reaching out to people that claim to have verifiable evidence which could dispute that narrative?
What's the verifiable evidence? I'm sorry, the Egyptian planes have nothing to do with that. It's a complete outlier. It's irrelevant. You can't put the planes or the passengers at the scene of the crime at all. So what are we doing here? Where is the verifiable evidence? I've been saying for her to post up the transactions she claims is a paper trail for 2 or 3 weeks, ever since she made the post. She won't even post that up. Once again, where's the verifiable evidence?
Does it seem to you like he's telling the truth there? Does it seem to you like he's
Yes.
being open, he's being transparent, or does it seem like he's intentionally being cagey because he knows that I am telling the truth, despite the many millions of dollars that is being spent on this Operation Mockingbird 2.0 campaign? Kash Patel knows that I am telling the truth. That's why they are turning to
No,
influencers
you're not.
to try to tell you not to look that way. Candace is crazy. Oh my gosh, like Candace must have made this up. But the people that are in power are not telling you that I made this up, even when they are given the opportunity to do so.
Because he doesn't owe you a response when you have no evidence. So if he did say, you know what, I don't trust Candace in what she's saying, I need her to show evidence right now, because otherwise we're not going on a fishing expedition on her behalf. We're not doing that, because we don't do that with anybody. Wouldn't that make the FBI more biased than you already claim they are, Candace? If they go in with this accusatory mindset as opposed to being neutral and then allowing you to give them evidence to support your claim, wouldn't that make them biased? Because what if it was the other way around? What if someone said, I believe and feel that Candace Owens has put out an attempt of assassination on my life. I've contacted the FBI today, and they're already investigating it. Wouldn't you want the opportunity to give any level of a rebuttal? Wouldn't you want them to collect evidence from your accuser first, Candace? Because two can play this damn game, girl. Two can play this game. I told you you're bad at this. So wouldn't you want the person accusing you of trying to, murder them? Wouldn't you want that person to produce evidence? Because we could say the same thing about you, Candace, when it comes to Tim Pool having his house shot up. Because two can play that game. If I did a survey right now, how many of you think Candace may have had something to do with Tim Pool's house being shot up? Put a 1 in the chat if you would say, yeah, I can believe that. Put a 2 in the chat if you disagree. 1 in the chat if you think Candace Owens has something to do with Tim Pool's house being shot up. 1 in the chat. Let's see who's got what. Proud Liberal, Mirror. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that Candace Owens had something to do or had some knowledge of Tim Pool's house being shot at. 2 if you don't believe it. I'm sure it's going to be the candy asses, but whatever. Yeah, I'm giving options here. 1 if you believe it, 2 if you don't. See, unlike Candace, I'm not forcing people to believe any opinion or narrative. I'm asking as an option. I present information and let you all take what you want from it. And then I provide resources for you to go out and check out. Those same links that I pulled up, I dropped them in the chat. I believe in people having the freedom to come to their own conclusion. Candace, on the other hand, forces her people, her cult members, to believe what she says with no evidence at all. So 1 in the chat if you believe that Candace had any knowledge or was a part of any plot that led to Tim Pool's house being shot at. 2 in the chat if you don't. If you're saying, it's hogwash, I don't believe it. That's all I'm saying. We got a lot of 1s. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. If you don't think it, what's wrong? Whatever. Whatchamacallit? What's wrong with you? That's your profile name. Just put a damn 2 in the chat. It's that simple. Unlike Candace, I'm giving options here. So if you don't believe it, put a 2 in the chat. Because I find it mighty interesting that Candace can dish out all this nonsense, but she can't take it. But if you don't believe it, you don't have to. You're saying, no, I don't believe that, Lady Luck. I'm going to put a 2. Put a 1. Either I'm convinced that she had something to do with it or was aware of it, a part of some plot on it. 1 in the chat. 2 in the chat. Nope, don't believe it. She's my Lord and Savior. I worship her. It's not enough evidence. Whatever. We're asking questions here, Candace. We're just asking questions. Because Candace too can play this game. You're just bad at it. But we're just asking questions, are we not? We're all just asking questions. Y'all don't worry about the candy asses. They'll be back. When they come out, they announce it. Because that's what, hive mentality do. They all keep announcing it. Then they come back. They'll be fine.
They're choosing to stay silent, okay? And I am waiting for all of this to be uncovered because this is bigger than we could have ever imagined. And it is very clear to me that our satellite of nations involved in this is not so implausible. In fact, maybe it's very plausible that all of these states are somehow involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. So here's what happened after we went off air. I received a tip actually from overseas, which has positively blown my mind. And it's blown my mind in a lot of ways, particularly because I had this intuition in terms of the things that I was researching and that were coming up and we're looking into Utah and all these things, that there was this chance that trafficking, like global trafficking, is could be involved here. Like that this could be maybe somehow Charlie was being asked to be brought in. He built an organization that has a presence, I think in all 50 states, actually in all 50 states. And that presents a certain opportunity, like for potentially trafficking. Now, the tip that we received was that we were very much on the right track and that there was another Pierre that we should be looking into, right? And what I'm going to say is, despite this tip and indicating that Turning Point, people that work with Turning Point or one of their action organizations, who knows which organization, they have a few, took a meeting with this particular Pierre. We cannot verify that yet. We would like to verify that information. And if you know more, please email us, more tips at CandaceOwens.com. But I'm going to tell you that even if we can't verify that tip, just knowing who this person is, this person who...
Girl, see, I didn't tell you all. This is why I don't want Candace to stop talking. She said, even though we can't verify that. So what tips are you expecting, Candace? Y'all see here? This is the stuff that people don't always catch right up front. Because I don't have, the opportunity every day to chop up my long lives and stuff, 3-4 hour live streams. But I can guarantee you have other content creators when they hear my live and then they do a shorter video on it. And then that information gets out there because it's a shorter video. Me, I enjoy these long talks. Plus it's my channel. So you're saying, Candace, you cannot verify it. You're admitting you don't have a way to verify the allegations. So what do you want a tip for? If you don't have a way to verify it, why do you think any of these conspiracy theorists, wacko cult members of yours could possibly verify it if you can't? You don't have a way to do it. So why bring it up? Don't bring it up until you have evidence, because that is how that works, Candace. You and Boys Club, boy, y'all, talking about bankrupt, child, please. You'll have to find out what it's like to have to do these shows 2 and 3 times a day to make up for what you're going to lose in this lawsuit. You can't make this up.
Or one of their action organizations, who knows which organization, they have a few, took a meeting with this particular Pierre. We cannot verify that yet. We would like to verify.
Took a meeting with this particular Pierre. We cannot verify that yet. Why? Don't you have insiders inside of Turning Point USA? Didn't Candace Owens say she has leaks on both sides? Didn't she say she had leaks with the FBI? That she has leaks within Turning Point USA? Sources that tell her things of what's going on? Because in her world, in that alternate reality, no one at Turning Point is happy. All of them are disgruntled employees. And they just hate everything that's going on and blah, blah, blah. So why don't you call your source, Candace? Because you're bad at this. See, the lack of evidence is one thing. It's also the lack of just common sense. standard things that a good journalist would know to do. If you have sources, why don't you email them or call them in Turning Point and just ask them this? You say you can't verify that? Why? Let's go back because I want to do a screenshot.
Verify that information. And if you for potentially trafficking. Now, the tip that we received was that we were very much on the right track and that there was a
who's your tip? Who sent you the tip? See, these are the things that she just doesn't want to, bring forth. I had an email come to me about these articles here. But see, here's the difference to the Candy Ass Cult members. When I get information, I can present it to you all. And then I give you the link so that you can read and explore it for yourself. Because once again, I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm not here to tell you how to, understand and interpret information that I share in research. I also didn't have to say who sent the email. I just dropped the link so that you can see for yourself that the actual link is real. The website is real. The information, the hyperlinks, they're all real. One of the links goes to my direct video. Shout out to friends.news/pravda.com. See, this is what happens when you tell the truth. Perhaps it lands as an exhibit in a lawsuit. I have no shame in saying, here's the link. Here's another link. Information again that speaks on Devenir Brigitte, the Fakes and Documents 532 PDF, Affaire Madame. These are all resources that can be selected. Let me drop the link to this. All of this came in one email. One email. I didn't go over all the information just for the sake of brevity. But I'm drop the links. So you all can see my sources here. The information here is real. Regardless of whether I tell you who sent the email or not. But see, when Candace says my source, she makes this allegation and then doesn't pull up anything. Because there's a difference. I can at least pull up the information. This is called corroborating your source. This is how you vet things. Where you can go back to your own research and see that these websites are real, the information is real. Most of this, 98% of this information is also in the amended lawsuit. So just in case you want that, let me post that up as well. This is another website. I had about 5 or 6 links sent to me. Chock full of information. Because you just can't make this up. But it shouldn't be that difficult to pull this up if you're actually presenting facts and information. Not because I said so, but because there's documentation to support these facts. It is a fact that this article exists. It's a fact that these hyperlinks are real. It's a fact that the Macrons are suing the hell out of Candace Owens and her LLC and Georgetown Inc. It is a fact that she admitted her LLC is registered in Delaware. These are facts that can be substantiated with documentation. She doesn't even pull up documentation. She pulls up a picture of 4 different countries, one of which she puts a slash behind a continent. And you just draw some lines to a center box. And somehow she thinks that's evidence. But see, when you put stuff like that to people who have this hive like mentality and they're brainwashed, they're just going to believe whatever she posts up and says. They're not going to ask, what the hell does this mean? Why do you have Africa/Egypt? Because Africa is a continent, not a country. This is so ridiculous. Candace, girl, you are the worst. Here's the amended complaint. I literally clicked on the hyperlink of the amended complaint. It takes me right to it. Because stacks on stacks on stacks, racks on racks on racks. It's called documentation. Who has time to even lie about a 250-page amended complaint? Who the hell got time to lie about this? This is real. It is a fact that these documents are real, that these words are real, that this seal is real. that this court that is being heard in is real, that Judge Rennie is a real person. Those are facts, Candace. There's tangible evidence to support it. Here's the link for the amended complaint. I know the candy asses aren't going to read it because Candace didn't even read the indictment. So, reading is not fundamental for them. It's okay. Keep talking, Candace. You're giving more evidence. This is how it's done. You don't have to always say your source if it's a credible source. Credible meaning you can verify what they have said and what they sent to you in research, in tangible documentation you can see for yourself. Candace, you're bad at this.
As another Pierre that we should be looking into, right? And what I'm going to say is, despite this tip and indicating that Turning Point, people that work with Turning Point or one of their, action organizations, who knows which organization, they have a few, took a meeting with this particular Pierre. We cannot verify that yet. We would like to.
Yeah, because you can't verify things. You can't make this up. I'm doing a snippet. I just want to remind the candy asses in the box, this is my channel, and you have no power here. Then they say they leave. I'm leaving. Oh, okay. Well, God bless your heart and all your parts. I don't know what you want me to do with that. You can't make
meeting with this particular Pierre. We cannot verify that yet.
Yeah, I wanted to get a snippet of this. This is it. Candace, this is going in the history books, girl. The day you kept lying like hell on things that you can't verify and you said out of your own mouth. We cannot verify that.
We would like to verify that information. And if you know more.
How do you expect to verify it again? Because your tip lines, it's not vetted.
Or please email us more tips at CandaceOwens.com. But I'm going to tell you that even if we can't verify that tip, just knowing who this person is, this person who lives in Scottsdale, Arizona.
You can't verify that tip, Candace. You keep at it. Oh, girl, that's why I said, why stop her from talking? Why stop her from talking?
Lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, and is a billionaire. And that is where Turning Point USA is based. And if you know more, please email us more tips at CandaceOwens.com. But I'm going to tell you that even if we can't verify that tip, just knowing.
Yeah, even if we can't verify that tip, because you can't. Because she has no way of vetting her tips. She doesn't vet her tips. She just, this looks good. It goes along with what I'm saying, and it fits right into my conspiracy. Because money and views. Let's go.
Who this person is. This person who lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, and is a billionaire, and that is where Turning Point USA is based. Knowing this person's background is incredibly compelling, okay? This individual that they mentioned that we should take a look into or learn more about, his name is Pierre Falcone. Now, I had never heard of this individual, and I'm going to say allegedly again regarding the Turning Point USA connection, but his past is not allegedly, okay? He was involved in a scandal that almost brought down the French government, and it involved, here we go, Africa, Angola in particular, Israel.
Okay. Stop saying the continent, girl. Now that I will say, Candace, it is unnecessary to say Africa. Just say the country in Africa. For F's sake. So he has some sort of conspiracy to bring down the French government. Candace, wouldn't that be good news to you? How is that a bad thing when you're whining and complaining about the Macron suing you? Wouldn't that be good news if this guy tried to take down the French government? And let me be clear, I'm not advocating for that. But in the world of Candace Owens, wouldn't she be okay with that? I don't get what her gripe is. What?
France and the United States. Arms trafficking, okay? Weapons that were being trafficked into Africa. And this scandal came to be known as...
Not, God, girl. Are we still talking about the same country? What did she say? What was the country?
Is not allegedly, okay? He was involved in a scandal that almost brought down the French government. And it involved...
That's a bad thing there.
Africa, Angola in particular.
Angola.
Israel, France, and the United States. Arms trafficking, okay? Weapons that were being trafficked into Africa. And this scandal came to be known as Angola Gate. And I'm going to do my best here to summarize it for you so that you get the gist.
Then don't say Africa. Just say Angola. That's like saying North America, the United States. Hold on, I gotta get some comments in. This is priceless. can't make this shit up. So none of the candy asses are going to correct. Hold on.
This. In short, the scandal happened during the civil war in Angola. So you have an African country, there is a civil war. You should just know instinctively that none of these civil wars are organic. No civil war ever was organic. Not even our civil war was organic. It's a bunch of Freemason lodges, deep state government involvement, and you can bet your money that the deep state is always.
So you're saying that the Civil War should not have occurred where blacks were slaves in, North America, the United States of America. So they weren't supposed to expect some level of freedom here. You understand what the Civil War was about? And one part of the actual one side of the fence that wanted slavery to continue, and the other side of the fence that said, hell no. How hard is that to understand? Why does it have to be convoluted and complicated? You understand why a civil war erupts. It's because one side wants something, the other side does not, and they end up getting in a fight over it. And it's like, just a little bit of research, you'll see, Candace, that more people died in that civil war than any other war in the U.S. More people died in that civil war, in the Civil War, than any other war we have had in the U.S. And you're sitting here talking about, it was such a conspiracy and all this stuff. You had the Confederacy that didn't want people to be freed from slavery. The Union felt otherwise. The end. Because you can't make this up. This is insane. We got to get through this.
Know instinctively that none of these civil wars are organic. US. No civil war ever was organic. Not even our civil war was organic. It's a bunch of Freemason lodges, deep state government involvement, and you can bet your money that the deep state is always involved when stuff is going on in Africa. Civilized countries are always involved in sponsoring civilized.
In Africa, when she means Angola, you mean Angola, whatever. It's not the continent, Candace. Save the country. You know what? I'm just going to start saying that. Here in North America, the United States of America, we have whole laws. One of them being that, people have the right to exist free without being subjected to servitude. You can't make this up. Never mind the Emancipation Proclamation. Just never mind none of that.
Being brought down. Anyways, it gets discovered during the course of French elections, and this is dating back to 1999, that the French government is actually involved in trafficking weapons, military-grade weapons, to Angola to facilitate this war. And they did this through an illicit network of countries. The public learns this, and it turns out that France is involved, Russia is involved, Slovakia is involved. They're using this company, which is known as Branco International, to sell these arms to the Angolan president. Now, Branco International is run by this guy. His name is Arkady Gaidamak.
Oh, dear God.
Of course, he is Israeli, initially born in Russia, and then right when Israel becomes a nation, he moves there. He's also, of course, the president of the Congress of Jewish Religious Communities, so you can't question anything he does. It's anti-Semitic. And his partner is Pierre Falcone. Pierre Falcone is born in Algeria. He moves to France after the Algerian Civil War. So I'm just going to bring up the players here very quickly. This is just from a website that's called Corruption Tracker. You've got Pierre Falcone. He's the businessman, the main broker of the arms deals. He gets convicted of arms.
No. The coach is mad because the words are being said about Candace. This is how you know you're dealing with either a brainwashed cult member or a bot, because they don't compute hypocrisy. They don't compute the fact that you don't sit here and dictate someone saying something about your Lord and Savior. You can bow down and worship her, but you're not bringing the rest of us down there with you. Candace, there's no way you're a Christian and you're allowing people to immortalize you and to idolize you as a God. There's no way you have any relationship with Jesus Christ if you're allowing mere mortals and bots to idolize you all over social media as if you pay their bills when you don't. And we all know she doesn't. So here in North America, the United States of America, we don't sit here and idolize a mere mortal. We're not doing it. And she has no power over here. And I get to talk about what I want to talk about because they still don't compute that either. Freedom of speech works both ways. Hit the like button. You're going to be over here talking smack. You can't make this stuff up. This is unbelievable. Candace doesn't know the difference between a continent and a country. Lord.
Trafficking, breach of trust, and misuse of corporate assets, bribery. He gets sentenced to 6 years in prison, but then he gets cleared on an appeal. Okay. So technically he was found not guilty of this crime and then was sentenced to a reduced 2.5 years in prison. You have Arkady Gaydamak, who I just told you about. He's the other businessman, and he gets convicted, even though he never showed up in France, of arms trafficking, tax fraud, bribery, money laundering, you name it. You have the French interior minister that was implicated. You also have Francois Mitterrand, the French president's son, that was implicated in this. When I say high-reaching, as in like the president of France.
Karen, can we go back to the fact that Candace, you bring this
and
up.
Was sentenced to.
You said he was found not guilty. So what are you bringing this up for? The verdict was that he was not guilty. You're saying this as if he was guilty. Because once again, whatever her perception of alternate reality is, wherever she's lost her mind, she refuses to take her body with her. Candace, why don't you just, here's a suggestion. Save up enough money, go move to another continent, because North America includes Canada and Mexico. Go to an entirely different continent and just go ahead and solidify your quest to become the Black female version of Jim Jones. I encourage you all, don't drink the red punch, okay? It's going to be something wrong with it. Candace, there are people who believe every word she says without research. And then you have these bots pushing this narrative because reasons. Hit the like button because you can't make this up. If he was cleared, then this is not a problem. And what does this have to do with Charlie Kirk?
An appeal. Okay. So technically he was found not guilty of this crime.
Technically, no, legally, he was found not guilty. Morally, he was found not guilty. Literally, he was found not guilty. I mean, there's so many ways he was found not guilty here. Because I got to snip this. Jesus Christ. So what is the purpose of bringing this up? If he wasn't convicted, then what does this have to do? You think she would like this person? They tried to bring down the French government. You think she would be telling the candy ass cult members, listen, y'all, whatever you do, let that man know I want to shake his hand. Because why would you not be okay with him bringing down the French government? You're being sued to oblivion by them. You can't make this up.
And then was sentenced to a reduced 2.5 years in prison. You have Arkady Gaydamak, who I just told you about. He's the other businessman, and he gets convicted, even though he never showed up in France, of arms trafficking, tax fraud, bribery, money laundering, you name it. You have the French interior minister that was implicated. You also have Francois Mitterrand, the French president's son, that was implicated in this. When I say high-reaching, as in like the
implicated doesn't mean that they were found guilty. It doesn't mean that they were guilty of it. So perhaps, in North America, the United States of America, Candace Owens still does not understand how laws work. If you're going to sit here and say France should be abiding by some law regarding the Macrons and their age difference and when they met, or defamation and slander and libel, then why is it that you can't apply the same principle when it comes to someone not being either found guilty at all, or they're simply implicated, but they were never found guilty? Why take away the presumption of innocence? And in case you already know, that's a real legal concept. And I'm not talking about the Luxers, I'm talking about the Candiases. In case you all didn't know, because Candace will never teach you these things. It's called the presumption of innocence. You're innocent to proven guilty. Why should these people she's naming be any different? And I can tell you now, in France, it's the same concept. They believe in a democracy. You're innocent until proven guilty. She has no problem pointing out, laws and court documents when she thought that the two French journalists won their lawsuit. when it was just a reversal of a decision based on the lack of evidence that proved malice intent. And that hearing, that case is still being appealed. She literally said, oh, they won. It's proof now that Brigitte Macron was born a man, when the appeal had nothing to do with that. But she won't go over the court documents for reasons unknown to me. She probably could get the full court docket if she wanted it. And she won't even go over it. This is the same person that thinks that overturning a ruling on not being able to prove defamation or malice intent somehow proves that Brigitte Macron was born a man. Two totally different things in the court of law. But she won't find this out. She won't research it. So let's just say, because we're, supposed to be logical and have common sense here, that those who are, she's saying, implicated still have this presumption of innocence where they were not convicted and found guilty. And the one person she's trying to say technically wasn't, she's still trying to paint this picture as if he was. No, you don't get to lie on a verdict or any ruling from a court of law, Candace. That means you're lying on the court and what was decided in the court. That lie is twofold. You're lying on the person that was found not guilty, and you're lying on the court, giving this implication that they found him guilty. You can't make this up. This is absolutely asinine.
President of France at that time was implicated via his son, who was involved in this. Basically, everyone was getting paid off of this. It ends up being 41 politicians involved, multiple states, and of course, multiple nations that are involved, including Angola. But you should know the scandal also touched the United States. Human rights groups demanded that Congress also probe the Bush administration's involvement, because they claim they did a deal and got involved for oil. Of course, why do we have wars? Because they can go in and they can steal a country's resources. I hope you are awake to that by now. Everything that's being sold to you, fighting for their power, fighting for their rights, Muslims versus Christians, wealthy bankers that want resources. Okay, I'm reading this Bush component from a website that's known as Corp Watch. And it tells us that, quote, known as Angola Gate, in France, the scandal involves arms for oil deals between French businessman Pierre Falcone, the head of a firm that was called Branco International, his colleague, Jean-Christophe Mitterrand, the son of the former French president, and a Russian-born Israeli named Arkady Gaidamak. According to All the President's Men, a March 25th report on Angola Gate by Global Witness, Gaidamak funneled billions of dollars in arms and oil-backed loans to Angola's government in return for lucrative oil contracts with Western oil companies. Falcone and Gaidamak relying on the special access.
Exactly. Shout out to Linda Walker. This is the woman who also does not believe that there were dinosaurs. This is the same person that does not believe that the moon landing was real. Probably does not believe that the earth is round and that it's somehow flat. Because gravity and all. I mean, you would think that she would understand if the earth was flat, our seasons would be very different. Our tides in the oceans would be very different because we have a moon. How we experience summer, winter, fall, spring would be a huge difference. You can't make this up. And you don't believe dinosaurs walked this earth, Candace. But you want to sit here and bring up some stuff from 1993 from random people and to try to insinuate that because they were implicated. They obviously have to be guilty, right? This obviously has to have something to do with Charlie Kirk and his murder. I mean, I can sit here and say this stuff all day. You can't make this up. But then that will require for me to not have a soul. I would have to give up my consciousness and my soul to sit here and say the exact same things that Candace is saying. I would have to give up my soul and my brain as a 2-for-1 special. You can't make this up.
That Mitterrand had to the Angolan government managed to transfer some $463 million in arms to Angola. And that's interesting. That is very interesting. Now, according to my sources in France, they say that the people of France were absolutely outraged. They found this to be naked corruption when he won his appeal. And then afterwards, Pierre Falcon just disappeared into thin air, disappeared from France because
because he has the right to live and exist in peace if he was found not guilty. Wouldn't it be double jeopardy to have him go back and be tried for the same crime twice? Candace, what's the point? What does this have to do with Charlie? I thought you were going to tell us who the alternative shooter is. To the Candy asses, can you please tell your cult leader to stick to one topic? Why can't she just tell us who the alternative shooter is? Because that is what she says she's dedicating her life to figuring out. And yet she gets no closer to narrowing down to one or two people of who could have possibly been the shooter. At the very least, you would think she would be smart enough to stick to the conspiracy theory of this female French assassin and this male Israeli operative. At least you've narrowed it down to two people, Candace. And then you tell us who those two people are. I wouldn't believe it either way because there's no evidence, but whatever. If she truly wanted to make sense of this, why not narrow it down to 1 to 2 possible shooters? I have a lot of questions. Obviously, we're not going to get answers.
Turns out he actually reappeared in Scottsdale, and what he's been doing since is anybody's guess. But we had some tips, which I'd like to pursue further. Since again, he is in Scottsdale, and we know that Turning Point is very much involved in politics in Scottsdale, as to whether or not he still has a foot in politics. Are they familiar with this person? What we can say is that suddenly, for certain, we can say that particular satellite of countries is not so ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Lady Luck was a rapper. I know. I actually was able to reach out before I started my channel 5 or 6 years ago. And hence why my channel is called The Lady Luck Club, because it's not Lady Luck, the rapper. Funny story. I came up with the name of the channel because I grew up reading the Joy Luck Club books. So, naturally, being the lady that I am, of course, I'm going to name it Lady Luck. But that pays homage to my childhood and growing up and actually reading books, because reading is fundamental, Candace. Reading the Joy Luck Club books. They were good books. So that's the inspiration for the channel name. And trust me when I tell you, YouTube would not allow 2 of the same exact name channels to exist at the same time. So even when I named this channel, I couldn't name it Lady Luck either way, because YouTube won't allow that. It's a duplicate. It'll see it as a duplicate YouTube channel. Plus, if I can say that my title connects to some personal part of my history and some books that I read, that's not copying the Lady Luck, the rapper. Because I've heard the same excuse before. It's laughable to me. Here we are back again on some flags, y'all.
Okay, so the joke's on all of you guys who are trying to pretend that the idea that multiple nations could be involved in a scandal is just so far reaching. Okay, that is the...
You haven't proven how they're actually connected to Charlie Kirk. You're just saying a bunch of names that you're saying it implicated as something that has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. You can't even prove to us that the Macrons are trying to assassinate you. And you still keep putting Africa in front of the name of the country in Africa, but not North America in front of United States.
The former American mindset where we believed that our government were the good guys. And let me tell you, many of us have had our eyes open to the possibility that that wasn't so. All of us maybe were half asleep and thought, oh, well, there are some good guys. It's the left that's bad, or it's the right that's bad. The day that Charlie Kirk got publicly executed in front of the world and our government was just behaving in ways that indicated that they wanted to cover this up, that they were not interested in getting to the bottom of this, everybody woke up. Everybody is awake in the whole world right now that there is something much more far-reaching and nefarious that is going on. And trafficking is definitively, to me, a plausibility, because I believe that if you are an entrepreneur and you become successful in this country, meritocracy we do not live in. No, I believe Tucker Carlson was right when he called that out on stage and started asking about how these people become billionaires. I believe that you, when you get to a certain level, have to decide whether you are going to join the gang okay? Whether you're going to join the gang of global governance, the gang that can snap its fingers and start a civil war in Africa. And if you have the nerve to say no to joining that gang and giving them access to whatever it is that you have created, you're a dead man
Now we're
walking.
blaming-
And if you have the
Now
nerve to
you
say
blame
no
Africa.
to joining that gang,
You can't make this up. What did you say?
are reaching and nefarious that is going on. And trafficking is
But you don't have any evidence. Trafficking now? What are we talking about? Is she trying to say that Charlie Kirk was trafficked? Because otherwise, this is completely irrelevant. I'm going to have to object to this, Candace. Objection. Irrelevant. All of this is a moot point. Unless you have identified these individuals to have been on the scene of the crime on September 10th, how the hell does this connect to Charlie Kirk? You named one person that was not found guilty from 1993 of something. I don't even care what it is. He was found not guilty. And then you named a bunch of other people a part of some other plot of some sort where they were simply implicated but not found guilty. And somehow this ties to Charlie Kirk. How? I'm still waiting on, where's Joe? Where is the video of the underground tunnels? Back in the day when Candace was sitting here, coming up with conspiracy theories, it at least was something that was on the actual UVU campus, like the communistic bees, the pipes, the underground tunnels, the secret trap door. At least the location was still at the UVU campus. Now she's all the way in Africa because it's a continent, not a country. And she's not connecting it back to UVU on September 10th. Is she trying to say these people were on those Egyptian planes? All these French people? Were those the passengers on the 2 Egyptian planes, Candace? You can't make this stuff up.
It's definitively, to me, a plausibility because I believe that if you're an entrepreneur and you become successful in this country, meritocracy, we do not live in. No, I believe Tucker Carlson was right when he called that out on stage and started asking about how these people become billionaires. I believe that you, when you get to a certain level, have to decide whether you are going to join the gang, okay? Whether you're going to join the gang of global governance, the gang that can snap its fingers and start a civil war in Africa. And if you have the nerve to say no to joining that gang and...
Yeah, Rick said, Candace is queen. I thought we don't do a meritocracy. Ask Candace queen if we don't do a meritocracy. She just said it. She just said we don't do a meritocracy. Candace, we, the people of North America / United States of America, do not take kindly to threats, domestic or foreign. Nor will we sit here and aid or abet you while you lie like hell. And somehow you don't think that this is going to catch up to you from the FBI? Because you still have no evidence to prove an assassination plot against you. The fact that she made this about her still baffles me to this very day. Somehow she had to invoke herself in this assassination of Charlie Kirk. And yet she still can't show evidence that payments were made through this Club de Sang from the Macrons, from the French president. That paper trail somehow is still lost in space, in the cloud. It's in the cloud. And she won't manifest it into a screen and show us that. But she's showing us pictures of flags in Africa / Angola now, because of reasons.
And giving them access to whatever it is that you have created, you're a dead man walking. That's my perspective today on how this whole thing works. And yeah, I am very much thinking that it is definitively a sensible and a rational plausibility that Charlie Kirk came up against this gang, right? Like, you're with us or you're against us. And what I can tell you is we also received a tip from somebody with...
I see physiological signs, Candace, that you're lying. My spirit is telling me, Candace, that you're lying. I discern that. I discern that you're lying like hell. And I can tell you're off script because you start stuttering. And now you're scratching your neck and you've got the itchy scratchies because there's some level of physiological reaction that occurs when people are lying, whether they want to admit it or not. Some physiological reaction. even if it's down to your blink rate getting faster, meaning the rate you're blinking your eyes start to substantially increase, Candace. You're having a physiological reaction to you lying because you're so off base, you don't even believe this BS. Where's Boys Club? George, I thought you had people coming in from the other countries. How do you think this is going to work? Where your wife is darking out every country you could possibly have some friends flying in from. Doesn't George have friends in France and the UK? He's from the UK. Wouldn't he have friends flying in from these countries she's trying to implicate? You think they're going to want to go to her house? Oh, God. Candace, I would only show up if you paid me.
In Turning Point USA that the night before he died, I know for a fact he messaged a donor and he messaged somebody at Turning Point USA.
Oh, God.
What I did not know, and this is what was told to me, that he also messaged Dan Flood, the security that's to his right, and allegedly explicitly said that they are going to kill me tomorrow. So again, that many people know that Charlie sensed that he was going to die tomorrow is an absolute fact. Why
Where's
these
the
individuals
text?
are all being
Where's the text?
also received a tip from somebody within Turning Point USA that the night.
So you can't ask them about that Pierre person, but you got a tip from somebody within Turning Point. And yet you're crying about them not, heeding to your demands of giving you a virtual link so that they can debunk you virtually when you could just go in person and face Erica Kirk. Because this is exactly how she would act if she had to face Erica Kirk. Why are you scratching your neck, girl?
Before he died, I know for a fact he messaged a donor and he messaged somebody at Turning Point USA.
Where's the message? Where is the text? Did she ever show the text?
What I did not know, and this is what was told to me, that he also messaged Dan Flood, the security that's to his right, and allegedly explicitly said that they are going.
So the text doesn't exist, Candace. The message doesn't exist if you're saying alleged. If you're saying alleged, the message doesn't exist. Or you would post the message. Wouldn't she post the message up? If she had it, she is literally demanding Turning Point USA to produce some message that doesn't exist when she's claiming she knows for a fact that this happened. And then turns around and says alleged. Allegedly, explicitly. Allegedly, explicitly. This is North America, the United States of America. That's all alleged and explicit. She doesn't understand definitions of terms either.
Going to kill me tomorrow. So again, that many people know that Charlie sensed that he was going to die tomorrow is an absolute fact. Why these individuals are all being quiet.
It's not a fact if you can't produce the text message. You have no evidence. I have to snip that.
Tomorrow. So again, that many people know that Charlie sensed that he was going to die tomorrow.
Yeah, one more time. Let me go back a little bit more. I got to clip this. You can't
and
make
he
this
messaged
stuff up.
Somebody at Turning Point USA. But I did not know, and this is what was told to me, that he also messaged Dan Flood, the security that's to his right, and allegedly explicitly said that they are going to kill me tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, let's snip that. Because you can't say allegedly explicitly, and then you cannot produce the actual message. Because allegedly, you're lying. Candace, that's not how allegedly works. And then you go into the next statement and say it's a fact. Facts are presented with evidence. Once again, I get it. The candy asses aren't going to read. But
So again,
the hope.
That many people know that Charlie sensed that he was going to die tomorrow is an absolute fact. Why these individuals are all being quiet about that is a massive question mark.
Proof.
Okay. And what we can say for certain is, of course, people will betray one another if money is on the line, right?
That's a general statement. That has nothing to do with explicitly dealing with Charlie Kirk, because you said allegedly explicitly.
And it could be for 30 pieces of silver, or it could be for billions.
Oh, no, because, we're going back to the Bible with the 30 pieces of silver. Candace, can you name the disciple that betrayed Jesus 3 times before the chicken clucked or the crow cuckooed? Can you name that disciple? Since you claim to be a Christian and all. Let's see how much Bible knowledge Candace has. Candace, name the disciple that betrayed Jesus 3 times before the rooster went cock-a-doodle-doo.
But things get complicated when there's a lot of money on the line. So we're going to pause there. And we have I think,
God.
a bunch of things I want to show you when we get back. But first, let's go to sponsors. All right, you guys,
no.
I'll ask
Nope.
a generous.
Nope.
I honestly am wondering how it would actually work if you were trafficking weapons and you're trafficking drugs and you're doing this, which obviously our CIA has been engaged in trafficking. I mean, you could almost argue that that's what they were put together to do, the deep state. How does that work? Like, would you?
You're arguing that's what they would do? Or you're saying that definitively because allegedly, explicitly? Candace, where's your evidence on that?
Then have random military planes that are coming in and following people. And
my
my imagination would be that probably the opportunity always exists when there's a really big event, right? Because people don't question when there's tons of trucks coming in. Like if it's a Taylor Swift concert, no one's going to question if there's tons of jets that are coming in and there's tons of trucks that are coming in. You just go, this must.
Rick, are you threatening me? Rick, are you threatening me? Because I'm, I told you, I don't care about y'all tip potential. Your dear cult leader are saying dumb words. She's saying these words. I'm not telling her to shut up, but I'm saying it's still stupid. Are you threatening me? You'll pay one day, one way or the other? You better be clear when you sit here and try to threaten me in my chat. Be clear. Speak plain. What does that mean? And you people wonder why, and I say the candy asses, you wonder why you have now millions of people that believe Candace Owens was somehow involved or at least knowledgeable of Tim Pool's home being shot up because you think free speech works one way. Speak plain. I dare you to actually put the threat, if you're threatening me, put it in the chat. I dare you. You can't make this up. No, speak plain. Rick, Charles 44. If you're threatening me, speak it. Speak it. Well, how am I going to pay? Be specific. Exactly how am I going to pay one way or the other? I want you to speak plain and state it. Don't cower it out now. You might as well go all the way there. Put it in the chat. I dare you. How am I going to pay one way or the other? How am I going to pay? When you start talking about someone paying a price, there's a price to pay. That means something happens to them. They lose something. Something goes wrong. Because otherwise, how am I going to pay? Speak plain. No, say exactly how am I going to pay? Because somehow you think this is history. I'm on the wrong side of it. So speak plain as to how I'm going to pay. Go ahead and tell me what my price and penalty is going to be for you thinking that I'm on the wrong side of history. Now, I want him to speak plain. I don't want to have to assume. I want him to tell me exactly what price I'm going to pay. How do we play? I want to know how I'm going to pay. Don't cower that now. I mean, if you're going to do that, go ahead. Speak plain and tell me exactly what price I'm going to pay. Put it in the chat. In words, plain. For being on the wrong side of history. Where's the historical precedence here? Because you present this as somehow this has been solidified in history of what Candace is saying. What's the right side or the wrong side? They're going to take away my bank account because I don't believe a damn word coming out of her mouth. I'm not here to worship Candace as a deity or anything. She is irrelevant to my platform and my household. But I am going to fact check her because it's called free speech. I want to know exactly what price I'm going to pay. You're saying I'm going to pay a price. What is that fucking price? Because the government doesn't take away your bank account because you don't agree to something someone said. Somehow you believe that Candace is making history here. So enlighten me. What price am I going to pay? I'm just saying. Now I want him to say it. Because we've been asking for evidence. Just one paper trail of the transaction to this Club de Sant. I never said she should shut up. I wanted to keep talking so she can keep giving evidence. You're saying that there's some sort of history being made here and that I will pay one way or the other. So enlighten me. I want to know the price I'm going to pay. This is why you can't have conversations with cult members, because they sit here and they try to throw out stuff. You don't have to do a subliminal with me. Put it plain and simple. What price am I going to pay? Governments don't shut your account down because you don't agree with what the government is doing or saying. I've had my channel for almost 6 years. I haven't had my account shut down because I don't agree with Candace Owens. Or I don't agree with everything that the government does. And she's not the government, remember? I thought Candace Owens and the candy asses doesn't trust the government. So you believe that a government you don't trust is going to shut down my bank account for disagreeing with Candace Owens while she produces zero evidence? How hypocritical is this going to get? I'll wait for you to tell me what price I'm going to pay. And I want to be specific. I want you to be as specific as you can get it. Go ahead.
All be for the big show, like, or the Super Bowl would be a great event, opportunity for people to traffic. And companies that have a lot of events would probably provide a pretty sound opportunity for people who are interested in those sorts of things to do that. I'm thinking about that now a lot. What's happening on the Operation Mockingbird 2.0 side is now they are all blaming me for...
Child, Candace don't pay my bills. If I had 6-7 million supporters and 5-6 million views, perhaps you could say that she's somehow feeding me. You can look at my analytics page for yourself. It's simple mathematics. 10 cents per 1,000 views. Do the math on that and you let me know exactly how much am I eating off of Candace. Especially when the candy asses in the box don't even look at my full channel to see all the other content. But no, you enlighten me on how much I'm getting and how much she's feeding me. I'm still waiting on Rick to tell me what price I'm going to pay.
The upcoming midterms. We're not going to win midterms. Like, we're not even close to that right now. But when that happens, it's definitively going to be Candace's fault. It's so ridiculous. I couldn't care less. Tim Pool has been one of these people that is crying a lot. So he hosted Milo Yiannopoulos on his show. And first and foremost, he called all of you stupid. He explicitly said, I am saying that people that watch your show are stupid because they're not accepting the Fed slop, or that they will not just eat the Fed slop that we are trying to give them. And then it was funny because later on in the show, he kind of lamented the fact that he lost.
No, what's stupid is the fact that you have no evidence, Candace, and then you continue to make these allegations. And you have people that believe this simply because you said so. And then Rick Charles says something about me paying a price one way or the other because he believes that you're somehow making history with no evidence. And yet they're too cowardly to ask Candace Owens to post up one transaction of a payment made from the Macrons to Club de Sant for her assassination. Name that high-ranking French government employee that told you, Candace, that somehow these payments were being made directly for the purposes and intent of you being assassinated. Or name the names of that female French assassin and male Israeli operative. Yeah, it's mighty stupid to believe what someone says because they said so with zero evidence, not even a paper trail of a transaction. Rick, how am I going to pay a price?
Lost a bunch of subscribers to his show because he attacked me, even though I never attacked him back. but he didn't put
Candace,
two
you're
and two
not
together,
God.
which would
No
imply
one
that means
cares.
that people who are watching your show were also watching my show. So you're calling your own fans stupid, which is probably why they unsubscribed. Regardless of that, Milo Yiannopoulos breaks down the real reason why people are upset.
So my morals are in question because I don't agree with Candace Owens. So somehow my right to disagree, my freedom of speech, expression, freedom of press, to report and disseminate facts and information, even my opinion and commentary. Somehow, if it's not aligned with Candace Owens, who's not God and does not pay my bills or help me eat, will fail. My morals are connected to my belief of what the hell Candace says. That's how I'm going to pay. You're talking about her saying a bunch of nonsense with no evidence, but somehow my morality is attached to whether I believe her or not. While she says things that cult leaders say, people who don't agree with her are attacking her. Tim Pool has his house shot up, and she's saying he's crying and whining all over the internet. Because she has no soul. Everything's fake and gay. Is it still? How am I going to pay?
Real reason that if we lose midterms, who we should be pinning the blame on. And he's come up with a way more compelling understanding, which is how we're all feeling. The person to blame if Trump loses midterms, if Republicans lose midterms, might be Republicans. It might be Trump. Here is what Milo had to say. And I will add that he is sitting also with George Santos, who joined them. Take a listen.
Jeffrey Epstein, as Bannon has said, and who would know better than him, it turns out.
You're going to quote Bannon, who consulted for Epstein?
I just said who would know better than him, as it turns out.
I just want to make that very clear for everybody listening.
I just said who would know better, as it turns out. He said that Epstein was the key that picks the lock, right? Of all of the kinds of things that people are asking, like, what is going on here? Why is this like this? And why is it? Epstein was one of the central ideological planks of MAGA teleology. Like, why does the world work like it does? Why do things look weird? Why do those people keep getting away with it and those people keep not getting away with it? Jeffrey Epstein was considered by everybody who voted for Donald Trump as a central pillar of understanding that we would unlock, and it would be like a code where bits of the universe would get like decoded for us. Like, oh my goodness, it's because of that judge. It's because of that. Everybody had that expectation, and there isn't one person who voted for Donald Trump who did not want and did not expect the Epstein files to be released immediately.
I did not have that expectation. I did not vote for Trump.
Fine. Everybody except George.
No, that's not true. There's so many people. I voted for Trump for many other reasons other than that.
Stop it. Grow up.
You think that puts food on the table?
Grow up. It's about egg prices. Stop it. Come on. Part of the reason that Trump was elected in 2016 was that Hillary Clinton was emblematic of the way that the world was going wrong. The secret elite collusion, Epstein, it was all linked. And people who voted for him the first time and people who voted for him every time since, you can't find me someone apart from George, apparently, who did not want to see the Epstein files.
Let me ask you.
And I promise I'll wrap up and let someone else go. But when he said, there's no Epstein files, and then the Democrats made it up, and then
I just kid acting like he's hopped up on something. What the hell wrong with him? He's speaking very choppy and he's talking like he's hopped up on something. First of all, let me be very clear in this. You had many supporters of Trump that voted for him that knew there was a high chance of him being named in the Epstein files, and they still voted for him because they simply didn't care. Wasn't he convicted? Whether you think it was right or wrong is irrelevant. The actual fact that he was convicted. And people still voted for him. So if he thinks that people voted with the expectation that Trump would not be named on one piece of paper related to Epstein, then where the hell has he been? Who is this guy? Obviously, he's been living under a rock.
And stop asking. And then if you're asking, you're not a fan of mine. And then if you're asking, I don't want you.
I agree with all this.
That is the moment Trumpism died.
I agree.
And don't we need a reckoning? And if that reckoning comes through the obviously, I'm nearly done, the obviously inadequate account from the feds and Turning Point about what happened around, before, and after Charlie Kirk's death, where his ride or die homegirl is asking questions that have exposed some inconsistencies and some questions, and which seem to...
She's not asking questions. She's making flat out accusations and purporting it to be a fact with no evidence. That's the difference. See, I can ask a question, Candace. Did you have any involvement or knowledge of Tim Pool's home being shot up before it happened? See, I can ask a question. I never said it's for a fact that she knew or had any knowledge of it. There's a difference in that. I can at least say I have no evidence to prove that Candace was aware or had knowledge or was involved. But asking a question is very different than making an allegation, especially where you're affirmed in it and you're purporting it to be a fact. There's a big difference. Is it the terminology and the definitions of these terms that is being lost in translation?
To point to a different etiology for the crime than the one that we're being told. I mean, everybody from Turning Point looks so sinister, suspicious, and guilty all the time. And they're losing to her. Respect the public on that at least. They're losing to her. And they have every reason to be winning. So she has every reason. Isn't it smart for us to have that reckoning in the Republican Party right now?
I said it's home.
Amen. All of that. Okay. All of that. And what I really like that he says there is respect the public on that. At the very least, respect the public. Okay. We are voting right now. We are voting with our eyes. We are voting in terms of when we say, I don't want to listen to this podcaster because they're trying to get me to eat this Fed slop. This is how we're voting. I mean, so many people are going down. It's like something about the Charlie Kirk assassination. We're looking around and we're going, guys, are you really going to try to impart this operation upon us where you go, if we keep saying it, eventually the public will accept it. They'll just eat the Fed slop. And we're looking around and we're going, wow, I thought this person was a good guy. I'm feeling like this right now. I'm like, I really actually trusted this person. Man, I've worked with that person. I've collabed with that person. They're joining this side. You too. And the public is saying, no, there's not enough influencers that you can pay, okay, that is going to convince me.
Didn't this Milo person, I thought I saw a video earlier where he said that Charlie Kirk was gay. Isn't it the same person that said Charlie Kirk was gay? I know I saw a video where he said that. Who was I watching? I could have sworn he had, hold on, play this. I'm going to find that video. I could have sworn this is the same person that claimed that Charlie Kirk was gay. Are you kidding?
Charlie ate enough salad to stop at 30-6. Respect the public on that. And they won't. They seem to not be doing it. They're like, nope, we just need more. It's more dollars that need to be spent, more articles that need to be written. We need to call the public more names. We need to call them a cult. We need to call them crazy. They're not respecting us on this point whatsoever. I do also want to say that the Hodge twins reiterated that point in a tweet. They said Republicans won't lose the midterms because of Candace Owens. They will lose the midterms because no deep state criminals have been held accountable. They will lose because we are still sending our money to corrupt foreign countries. They will lose because America's last traitors like Lindsey Graham are getting promoted. It is simple. Republicans will lose because they aren't listening to the people that voted for them. And that is also so well said. And speaking of the ridiculous Fed slop narrative, there is a YouTuber named Jesse Kague who has a channel called One Shot TV. It's all about guns. And he didn't have a horse in this race. Obviously, he's pretty upfront about the fact that, okay, 30-6 narrative, I've seen bullets do weird things. In 30-6, maybe if it hit your thigh, but I'm just going to test this fairly. And he is going to, and thank you to Mel, who is Village Crazy Lady, and Ryan Matta on X for bringing this video to my attention. But this guy, Jesse, is going to test the 30-6, and I want you to watch it.
All right, guys, we have a couple different rounds we could use for this test. There is like 1,000 30-6s out there. And that's one reason why I wasn't ready to just jump in doubting the story right away, because we don't even know what kind of ammo was used. It could literally be anything. So the first one we have is the 180 grain full metal jacket ball round. This is one of the most common 30-6s out there, this and the 150 grain. If you go to a gun shop and just ask for 30-6 ammo, this is probably what they'll give you. If I had to guess, I would honestly say he probably used something like this just because it is the most common round out there. The second one that we have is a lot more.
Yeah, okay. Because Candace doesn't care about the investigation, so why does she care about a bullet? So he did say Charlie Kirk was gay. Why did she play that part? This is a Storybox video. That's who I was watching earlier today. Why doesn't she play that part? I'm just saying, why you didn't play the part where Milo said that Charlie Kirk was gay?
Right now.
Days behind watching on the show because I've got I've got stuff going on. But somebody tweeted today that Candace said that she believes.
Yeah. Here it is. He said Charlie Kirk was gay. Oh, really? So Candace is sitting here propping up this same dude that said Charlie Kirk.
Sorry, Tim,
gay.
but like, why would you even go there?
I'm just saying. He said this
On the show because
so Under Candy Ass is here talking to, gonna go along with this claim that of what came out of this boy's mouth that Candace Owens is propping up right now, like he's saying something so prominent when he's not. But are you all somehow now under the belief that what Milo said about Charlie Kirk being gay somehow is that true now? Is this where Candace is shifting to? Because she's supposed to be like a friend to him and all, and she loved him so much, and he's the one that got away. Now you got this dude here that she's propping up that said Charlie Kirk is gay.
is behind watching on the show because I've got I've got stuff going on. But somebody tweeted today that Candace said that she believed that they were about to get a divorce. I think he was gay. I
think he was gay. She tweeted that they were getting a divorce without, once again providing evidence with court documents. That's not something that will be under seal. If there was a divorce filed, there will be court documents on that. And who told her that they were probably getting a divorce? Or maybe. Who told Candace that? Why would she even repeat that? But yet and still, no one is supposed to believe that Candace Owens can't stand Erica Kirk's guts. Deep down on the inside, she loathes that woman. Because why would you say something like that? She lost her husband. She got to take care of 2 kids and the CEO Turning Point. All of this happening at once. If you're not trying to attack her, then why would Candace even put something out that's even remotely close to insinuating that they were getting a divorce? Why would she tweet that out or even co-sign on something like that?
But somebody tweeted today that Candace said that
Candace said, because they, Candy-ass cult members are brainwashed and think that what she says is the gospel and somehow she's God, and how dare you challenge her or disagree? Because there's a price to pay. Why the hell would Candace say something like that?
she believed that they were about to get a divorce. I think he was gay.
Where'd she get that from? Where did Candace get that bullshit from? Why is it that she has to throw something like that out there? Or that anyone would even remotely insinuate that Candace Owens said something like that about a man she claims to love, like a brother? You can't make this up.
I think he was gay. And
come on,
you know that
you do know that I've criticized. What? Like I'm sorry, Tim, but like, why would you even go there? Like to say something like that?
Oh, I'll tell you
no. The man's dead. You're calling now. You think he's gay.
That's when people can. That's when people can tell the truth.
According to Milo.
Oh God, when George Soros somehow makes sense. Unbelievable. When George Soros makes sense. That's how you know it's just way too much dumb going around. When George Soros makes more sense than this Milo character. I don't even care who Milo is. I'm gonna be honest. Why would he say that? And this is what she fails to play. See, Candace, you're lying by omission, right? You don't play the entire video, nor do you even mention anything about this Milo person claiming Charlie Kirk was gay. But you're supposed to be dedicating your life to finding his killer. And this is who you're propping up. This is who you're propping up and supporting, Candace. Someone that is claiming Charlie Kirk was gay. That said that someone tweeted out, you said, Candace, they were getting a divorce. What's the evidence on that?
What? Like I'm sorry, Tim, but like, why would you even go there? Like to say something like that?
Oh, I'll tell you.
No. The man's dead. You're calling now. You think he's gay.
That's when people can. That's when people can tell the truth.
According to Milo.
This is where we are. So, Candace, are you going to start going around trying to insinuate, perhaps Charlie Kirk was gay because he didn't pick you? He said it twice. He wasn't confused. I think he was gay, and I think he was gay. And what the F? Candace, if someone is repeating, you said you believe that they were about to get a divorce, and then he says, I think he was gay. Why would you even play any soundbite from this guy at all? Because now the candy asses, I guess you all want to believe everything she says. So now you have to believe someone she's propping up, but too cowardly to play the whole video and to say, I don't agree with him on that. I don't agree with what he said about Charlie Kirk being gay. That was absolutely foul and disgusting. I believe the things about the Epstein stuff, but I don't believe what he said about Charlie Kirk being gay. Or about me insinuating that they're getting a divorce or they were getting a divorce. Because where the hell she get that from? This is absolutely asinine. This is it here. Here you go, candy asses. Here's your cult leader propping up a man that said Charlie Kirk was gay. He believed Charlie Kirk was gay and said it twice. And that Candace, someone tweeted, Candace said she believed that Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk were getting a divorce. So you can't at least say that's not something that we would support. So the candy ass cult members are now going to have to go along with this, because right side of history and all. This is your right side of history. Explain it to me. Is this your damn right side of history? Candace supporting someone that said Charlie Kirk was gay? I don't care if he said it in his opinion, a thought, a conspiracy, or whatever. Why would those words come out of his mouth about Charlie Kirk again? But she doesn't play this part of the video. She didn't play this part of the interview. Tim Pool's house was shot at. Ironically, after he said something negative and criticized Candace Owens. I'm not even saying negative. He spoke out about what Candace Owens was saying with no evidence. Because there's a price to pay and all. So his house gets shot up days later. And yet she plays this interview of a clip of this person saying that someone tweeted out, Candace said she believed they were getting a divorce. And I believe he was gay. I believe he was gay. Okay. This is what the candy asses are going to go towards now. So at no point are you all going to have any level of morality or soul or conscience and say, no, we don't agree to that. Because she's supposed to be sitting here fighting for him and all. But this is the shit she supports.
I think he was gay. And
come on.
Yeah, okay. Because that's a snip. Because how the hell do you sit here and say you're dedicating your life to finding out who killed Charlie Kirk while you propped up some dude in an interview that said, I believe he was gay? The hypocrisy is disgusting.
More interesting. This is the 150 grain Hornady ballistic tip. I actually bought this one specifically for this test just to give us the highest chance of something stopping in the target. Okay, this is how we're going to set this one up. I have our ballistic dummy bust on a table in the front. I do have it slightly angled so we can hit the target that we're aiming for. Behind it, I have 3 5-gallon water jugs, just in case the bullet overpenetrates. Maybe we'll get lucky and actually capture it. And then what I'm going to do is pull my truck back here and try to use the roof to get a slight downward angle on the target, just like it was in real life. Unfortunately for this video, I'm not going to be able to take the shot at 140 yards. I got too many cameras to operate. I did do that in our first video, though. If you want to see it, I'll link it right here. I just wanted to show you how easy it was and how close that actually is. With this caliber, trust me, it's a chip shot. There's going to be almost no difference between 30 or 40 and 140. It's a 1,000-yard gun. So we might be gaining a few feet per second, but ultimately,
I can guarantee you all it's going to lead Candace back into the autopsy report, trying to dispute the actual head of security that said that the bullet did not have an exit wound and that it went from the C1 to the C6 and it shattered the vertebral disc in his cervical spine. Because that is what the head of security was told by the actual doctor that performed the autopsy. And because Candace Owens is not privy to the autopsy, because that's medical information she is not privy to, I'm telling you all, she's going to route this conspiracy theory back to the hospital, back to the doctors, back to the doctor that did the autopsy report. Because where else is this shit going? This is definitely going to go back to, this is why I don't believe the autopsy report. This is why I don't believe that there was blood all over, someone that wasn't in even the car. This is why I don't believe everything. Everything's fake and gay. Is that why she says everything's fake and gay? Because she actually believes Milo saying that Charlie Kirk was gay? Candace, is that why you walk around here talking about everything is fake and gay? You're parroting someone. You're putting out someone's clip. And you don't play the whole clip where he alleges that someone tweeted, you believe Charlie and Erica were getting divorced. which is lie number one, because you have no evidence. And that would be in court documents, by the way. And two, he said he believed Charlie Kirk was gay. And this is people can't see why she doesn't want to go face Erica Kirk face to face on December 15th. People can't understand it. You don't think Erica Kirk is going to see this video? But she's sitting here supporting someone that said her husband was gay. And he said, when George Soros makes more sense than someone named Milo, that Candace Owens is property, that she's parroting his nonsense, his soundbite. You can't make this up.
The result will be very similar. Well, we definitely penetrated our water jugs, and I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
I mean,
yeah, but you can't understand why his C1 through C6 could possibly be shattered. So now it's going to go back to, we don't believe the autopsy report. This is why we don't believe the doctors. This is why we don't believe what the head of security was saying. This is why we don't believe, in the McCoys, Mikey, Rob, pick one. This is why we don't believe nothing that the hospital said. None of the records. I have to see them, because that's what she's going to get to as well. Didn't I tell you all she was going to route back to that? Because this ties into the autopsy report. How dare they say that there was no exit wound? How dare they say that the C1 through C6 was shattered on the way down, when you just saw what looked like C1 through at least C5 being shattered? You don't understand, Candace. The cervical spine is in the neck. The majority of the vertebral disc in the cervical spine is in the neck. It starts from the skull and it goes down to where the thoracic muscles start, because that's human anatomy and biology. So it's hard to believe there was no exit wound, but none of this could have been shattered. That's hard for her to believe. Because she has to see the autopsy report and all, something she's not privy to see. I'm telling you all, she's going to tie this back into the hospital lied, all the staff lied, the doctors lied, the autopsy report is fake, blah, blah, blah.
All right, guys. I figured this is probably what would happen. I was trying to remain optimistic, but that right there is why people are skeptical on the official story. 30-6 is a very hard round to stop.
Which would include the autopsy
yeah, so I wanted to
report.
show that because I realized there's a bunch of people who may not be gun enthusiasts. Obviously, that channel is dedicated to it. And just so you understand and really appreciate what the federal government is trying to sell to you right now. That's what we mean when we say that particular bullet would have decapitated Charlie. Like you see, like actually, it just the idea that just like ricocheted and went inward is just so beyond ridiculous. It's insulting, and they think that if they send out these like Glee boys, like Nick Fuentes acting, someone who looks like he's never even been traversed into nature before, that if they really put on the theater, then a bunch of hunters are going to go, yeah, I see what you mean, man. It's never going to happen. It's just never going.
Candace, why all of a sudden you have an issue with Nick Fuentes? Wasn't she just singing his praises 2 or 3 weeks ago? So when he calls out these Jewish conservatives that she can't stand and hates, it's all good. They're trying to shut down Nick and Tucker Carlson. It's like they shouldn't have a platform. I don't believe that people should be shut down from being able to freely express themselves, while the candy ass cult members goes into my chat and says one way or the other, I'm going to pay because history, right side, wrong side, and bullshit. While you have Jewish conservatives getting online death threats from a man and being influenced by Candace Owens and a neo-Nazi. While you have now, days after, Tim Pool just completely snaps off on the buffoonery Candace is peddling with no evidence, has his house shot at. And she's tweeting something along the lines of, do you have security? We can help you track down the person. And then turns around on this show today. That's pre-recorded, by the way. And says he's whining and crying all over the internet. But his house was shot at. Candace can't even say that's happened to her. She's lying about an assassination attempt because I don't have to believe it until I see evidence on these transactions with this so-called paper trail. But she can't even say someone shot at her or her home. And I don't even want that to happen. She got kids. But why should that be okay for it to happen to Tim Pool? All because he disagreed with her. Like, free speech is only one-sided and limited. You know, here in North America, in the United States of America. So if he exercises his free speech and goes completely off, same thing everyone else has the right to do. He deserves to have his house shot at. I never said him, his house. He deserves to have his house shot up now. But Candace can't even say someone is taking aim at her for any reason. And she wants the entire FBI to sit here and help her find evidence when she should already have it to produce. Why won't she just post up the text she sent to the FBI agent again? Or file a formal complaint again? But she gets mad because they're not sitting here kissing her ass and chasing her down for evidence that doesn't exist. You can't make this up.
To happen. And so at some point, they are going to either just, I don't know, have to declare war on the American people. Like, never mind. Never mind.
No war.
We're just going to go to war with you because you won't accept it. Or they're going to have to give us something that's truthful. Somebody is going to have to come forward and say something that makes sense. And because I believe that this conspiracy is so far reaching, because I believe it is exactly like the JFK assassination, and people close to Charlie are aware of things that they sold him out in many ways every single day that goes by where they don't tell us the truth and they're not honest about the anxiety that.
But you can't say what they lied about. You can't say what they lied about. Because, Candace, you don't even have a message to prove Charlie Kirk said anything in a message that he was going to be killed the next day. Or that he knew he was going to die. You want Turning Point to produce it. No, they don't owe you that. Just like they don't owe you a virtual stream link. They owe you nothing. What she can't stand is the fact she has no power and control over Turning Point USA. Because, Candace, you don't. You don't dictate a damn thing. And yet you got your candy-ass cult members telling people somehow their morality is tied to whether or not they believe or want to side with you. Because somehow in their alternate universe, they think you're making history. And yet we can't ask questions about whether you were involved or had any knowledge of Tim Pool's house being shot at, Candace. We're not supposed to ask that question. Because it's so ironic how it happened days after. He snapped off and put your ass in check. You know, how dare the candy-ass cult members let somebody do that? Disagree with their cult leader. Because in their world, she's God, I guess, and she died on the cross for them. She pays for them to eat. In their world, in their alternate reality, Candace got on the cross, died, and it came back in 3 days.
Charlie had the night before he died. They look more and more guilty. I am convinced that they're just going to try to hide it further. I truly believe that the deep state is involved in this assassination and multiple states are involved and they don't know what to do. I think they've completely come undone because they believed that with enough money and power, they would get away with it. But at the end of the day, common sense seems to be ruling the roost. All right, we're going to take another break before I get to some of your questions. All right, you guys, here's how it works.
Yeah, I'm not getting her questions because she handpicks them and it's never just, questions. It's like someone singing her praises. That's why I never play the comments. It's just her placating to her pride and ego. I'll at least put up comments of everyone. You want to come for the queen. I want you to be plain if you're going to threaten me. Be plain with it. This girl is crazy as hell. Absolutely bonkers. Someone's morality is tied to this bullshit. Where she's sitting here prompting up some guy that said Charlie Kirk was gay, and that was supposed to have been her best friend she was in love with. Oh no, George has 3 birthdays and she can't seem to get them straight. He automatically told her no to December 15th in person, but she's demanding a virtual link because She just demands so much evidence. But yet she's got leaks on the inside of Turning Point. Don't you think they would just send her that stuff? If she had leaks inside of Turning Point USA, common sense, wouldn't she just contact them to get the information? Wouldn't they be more willing if there are leaks and they know she's going to post it up? Wouldn't they be more willing to just send it to her? Why do you all think people at Turning Point USA aren't sending her information, emails, messages, video camera footage? Why is that? If there are so-called leaks and they believe that she's going to put it out and there's something terribly wrong. Why is that? I'm just saying. She also has leaks in the FBI but won't file a formal complaint. You can't make this stuff up. And yet our morality is tied to whether or not we worship the ground she walks on. I don't have to agree with a damn thing that comes out of her mouth. And I don't expect everyone to agree with me. But I do expect if you're going to make allegations about someone being a part of a murder or an assassination plot, whether it be against her or Charlie Kirk, to produce some damn evidence. And she's too freaking lazy and too cowardly to do that. Because wouldn't she just call back that high-ranking employee, that government employee that told her these payments exist? Wouldn't she just call them back and say, can you send me screenshots of these payments? If there's a paper trail, can you email it to me? Because I can't just make these statements without evidence. And somehow, my morality of not pledging some allegiance to Candace Owens is now in question. And somehow, I'm on the wrong side of history. And one way or the other, I'm going to pay a price. I'm telling you all, coming for the queen is not in your best interest. You can't make this stuff up. So that's the end of her video. We're going to end it with some Ami because we all need this laugh. Once again, Candace, if any of my videos are actually utilized as exhibits in that lawsuit Macron's filed against you, I would be more than happy to testify to ensure that my videos are introduced as evidence into that case. I will not lose a second to sleep over it. And I don't want you to stop talking because that's just more gathering of facts and evidence that can be used against you in the court of law in this lawsuit. And from anyone else that's trying to sue you. If they understand the art of putting a case together and seeing your pattern of behavior and how much of a narcissist you are, Candace, they'll be snipping these videos as well. You can't make this up. Shout out to Ami, y'all. We got to end it on a laughing note. Because I don't take kindly to threats. And if you're going to make a threat, go all the way there and be plain and tell me what price I'm going to pay. And not just to me, against me or my family or my channel, my supporters, the Luxters, my mods. Be plain with it. It's easy to be a keyboard warrior and say dumb shit. But when you get called out and you're told to be specific about it, somehow you can't do that. And somehow it comes down to morality or a bank account. Fuck out of here. Can't make this stuff up. If I can get one of the mods to drop the YouTube channel link for Ami in the chat, that would be fantastic. We got to end it on Ami. We got to end this on a happier note. And I've had a pretty good day today. Not even gonna lie. Had a good day today. Yeah, got the video linked up in the article, listed with other exhibits in the amended lawsuit. That's fantastic. Tomorrow night, we will have Milk Bar, aka Nathaniel Livingston, who will be joining us at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm excited about the conversation. I've been waiting on this confirmation of this interview. So I'll try my best to try to do a live on her show. But if not, yeah, Milk Bar will be our focal point for tomorrow evening. So let's end this on some laughter with Ami. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear. Let's get to it.
All right, you guys, you all know what's been going on. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So apparently Turning Point issued an ultimatum where I made it very clear that I would meet them anytime, any place, anywhere to discuss the issues and all the questions. And I said I would do that. I'd be more than happy to do that, okay? Little did I know, the very next day, Turning Point issues a statement that they would be willing to host a live stream on December 15th at 2 p.m. Now, obviously, as many of you know, 2 p.m. on any day is when I take my nap, okay? Which is important because when I nap is when I dream. And when I have my dreams, that is when Charlie comes to me with information. Hello. It's so obvious, you guys. They knew my nap schedule, and that is when I take my naps, and that is when Charlie visits me in my dreams while I'm napping to give me intel and information about how everyone betrayed him. Everyone betrayed him. Nothing in his life was real. Everything in my dreams are real.
Yeah, nothing in his life was real. Never mind the wife and kids and the mother that gave birth to him, because of reasons. Y'all look at this freeze frame. Look at this damn freeze frame, y'all. Yeah, that's Candace. Candace, when the hell are you gonna pack up and move to Russia? You said you want to go. No one is stopping you from being Russian. Bye, Felicia. You can't make this up, y'all. And it's not just the way he speaks; it's the mannerisms and the facial expressions. Oh man, I mean, you are just epic. I love you.
Nothing in his life was real. Everything in my dreams are real. Hello. And of course, Turning Point now is going to reach out and say, we tried. I said, name the time and place when I'm awake. Obviously, I have to be awake to participate in a debate. You can't do it when you're sleeping. You can only communicate with those who are no longer with us to get information about the real world. Try again, guys. We're not falling for it, okay? Ball's in your court. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting. All right, you guys, you all know what's been going on.
Candace, to have a meeting. Oh my God. Oh, we've learned so much today. We've learned that Candace doesn't understand the difference between Africa, the continent, and any country in Africa. Can't make this stop. Oh, y'all see why we gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. Oh man, if you don't laugh, there's a price to pay, damn it. You can't make this stop. What child? Can y'all imagine Army literally sleep in the bed with his butt in the air? The little babies when they do a little scrunchy look. And they just kind of raise their little kneecaps to their little tummy and they had a butt in there. It's just, oh my God. I can imagine Army doing that right now. He got a butt in the ass scrunched up. He fell asleep on the mic. Oh, Jesus. Oh man, you better call up the Lord because there's a price to pay if you don't. Oh, all right. In case y'all didn't know, to the Luxters, somehow our morality is linked to, our agreeance and acceptance of Candace being a cult leader. So you make this up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you all. If you guys would like to contribute to the channel, because we're here for that. The Cash App is scrolling below. There's always a super whatever. But I appreciate you guys just tuning in and hitting that like button as well. Thank y'all so much for the support. If you're gonna threaten me, you better be plain and clear with it and spill it out because I don't owe Candace a damn thing. She does not predicate or dictate where my soul goes at the end of the day. She's not God. She will not be judging me, and I could care less about what she thinks and how she feels. Candace, if you can't produce evidence, this is why you're gonna get mollywopped in court. You can't make this up. This comes from the same person that doesn't understand how facial recognitions work, because reasons or countries and continents. Yeah, in the North America, the United States of America, we're going to still make sure that Candace is held accountable and report on every little thing that happens in that courtroom when she finally starts to schedule these damn hearings. Candace, we're waiting. All right, y'all. Tune in tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Milk Bar TV, Lady Luck Club. Thank you all so much. And until the next one, you guys have a good evening. Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.